Aha. Hello. Welcome to uh, Tigwick TV. Your host, Tigwick. Just vibing. Just settling in. I do have a plan for tonight. Let me know if audio levels are off or anything. Yeah, it's rare. Trying to ease myself back into all sorts of stuff. So, thank you. Awesome. This is just an attempt. New platform that I'm using to do this. It's not OBS. Amazing. Yeah. All right. Let's see. I'm just gonna bring the music down. There we go. Maybe a little louder than that. Hold on. Alrighty. No, not OBS. No. Plus, playing around with another streaming. Like, I don't know. What is it? It's more than like, okay. So what I should start from the beginning because I want to get into stuff. So first, since I want to actually have like a bit of a progression to this. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's paid, so I'm getting a bunch of. I mean, it's just like, I'm assuming, like I think XSplit, because it's paid. There's a bunch of cool stuff that's just kind of built in that with OBS you'd have to do with plugins and stuff, which is fine if you know how to do it and you know what to look for. There's a million OBS plugins that do really cool stuff. But usually with the paid platforms, they're kind of, the paid ones are also usually geared to folks that are like doing Zoom presentations, like those like I don't know, like internet marketer workshops and courses and shit like that. So that's they focus on being able to have like a good lower third, like text, like, okay, so you see little hold on, wait, I got this. There. Okay, there. You see that? You see a little tiny name down there? I don't know why it's so tiny, but you see my tiny representation down there? So you can make like prettier versions of that. In fact, why don't we do that, right? Since we're working on this right now, since this is a whole, a work in motion, why don't we actually work on that right now? So let me just see. Where's the branding here? Custom lower third. Size, that's better. Oop. Oh, that's way big. Oh my god. Oh, different style. That's better, right? I think that's better. I like it. Okay. That was easy. I dragged a slider around. That's so cool. Ooh, look. It's so... I feel like it's cheating, It's like I don't have to do anything. I'm also trying to channel... Okay, so tonight, the idea tonight is I'm channeling like a reverso Nick Fuentes, hence the background, hence this, right? Reverso Nick Fuentes, but also obviously Tim Pool, because hence this, right? So, it's like, I'm definitely gonna, I'm gonna be live poking at everything for sure. Yeah, 100% for sure. Just because it's also, it's fun. But once I'll lock things in too. In fact, let me make sure that everything is locked in here too, so I don't screw things over here. Okay, cool. That's right. It's a toque. Anyways, okay, so to kick things off, because I do want to kind of go into like a flow, I wanted to introduce the concept of clearings because that's something that we do at work, which I actually I kind of like it. It gives me a chance to like pause and think about, stuff like what's affecting me and all that. So the idea is that you, how do I approach this? You basically think about what might take you away from absorbing what's happening here, like from being present, essentially from being present. What might take you away from being present right now? And then if you're willing to, to express that, and then usually what you do is you would, if you're willing to, this is if you're willing, obviously, to work through this, is to express how that you will do your best to to work through that. But that is, so it's basically like, this is the thing that is potentially affecting me. I woke up this morning and I banged my toe, and that's been bugging me all day, and so I'm like, but I am still here, and I chose to be here, and so like that kind of thing. And so for me, it's like, obviously my clearing is that what's taking me away from this is that it's been a long time since I've done this. So there's just like, my mind is everywhere. It took me a really long time to even click the button. Holy shit. Hey, Sakai, long time. I know, right? So it took me a long time to even hit the button. And so I just, so that's what's taking me away from here. But I am obviously, trying to be present. Yes, it has been that long. Yes, it has. I'm trying to be present and just like, and engage and go through what I have planned. And we'll just see, we'll just see how it rolls. And so what normally happens, I'm going to try this at the beginning of every session, is I'll begin with the clearing, so that everybody else can also, if they feel they're comfortable, they can express, what's taking them away and what they, might want to just express. And, there's a chance to be vulnerable and just to kind of like, be present. But we're all, here together, and we're all just like in a safe space, right? So anyway, barring any further interruptions, do have some content that I was hoping to get through, and there's a little bit of good news too, besides the actual like other content that I wanted to learn about and go through. So let me see if I can queue stuff up. What do I actually have over here? Blah 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 blah. Oh yeah, okay. So let's see if this works. I gotta switch scenes. One sec. Okay. Boop. Okay. There you go. All right. Right. We're doing things. All right. So first off, is a tweet coming in? Ah, hey, look at that, it works. This is so cool. Okay, this platform is so neat. Okay, this is really cool. Okay, hem. Oh wait, there. Okay, yeah, there it is. This is so funny. I can't believe this actually happened, and like this whole thing actually panned out. Like it blows my mind that this is even possible. But I think it's really funny. I did do that, yeah. Anyways, so the tweet, I'm just gonna read you the tweet in case and the tweet is from Ben Collins. He's the CEO of The Onion. Well, actually, sorry, not CEO of The Onion. He's the owner of The Onion. I think there's like a fictional CEO of like the parent company and all that. So I don't know exactly, but anyway, he's the guy, or not the founder. He's not the founder. He's the CEO currently, but he's the guy who bought it after they were going under. He's Anyway, so he's the guy who's currently running it, and he used all the money that he also currently has to to buy friggin' InfoWars and all of Alex Jones's stuff, because Alex Jones obviously went broke recently and auctioned all that stuff off due to the all the cases against him and everything else that happened, that we are all hopefully a little bit more versed in than I am. There's just so much backstory to that I don't feel like I don't know where to begin on that. So I'm hoping everybody comes in with at least a little bit of knowledge on the Alex Jones stuff and how he's just kind of like cascaded into being like nothing really anymore. And the fact that after this he's still trying to be something by like just like popping up on like another network that he just kind of starts on his own and expects that there's going to be no repercussions to him just continuing to do the exact same thing over again. I don't know, it's weird. But the fact that the Onion now owns Infowars, oh my god, and the resub. Thank you so much, Sakai, for the resub. The fact that that the Onion now owns Infowars means that like the satirical aspect of Infowars being ridiculous already, and now can actually just exist as like the Onion can actually just make the real satire. So like the articles now will actually be bullshit instead of Alex Jones trying to make them not bullshit when we know that they are bullshit. So that's gonna be refreshing. I think that'll be a nice change of pace. Where there was a time when I was a lot younger. I guess it was high school. Yeah, it must have been high school when I first heard about Alex Jones. I knew like it was so weird to me to hear his name more frequently in like, I don't know, I guess when I was more radicalized in like 2020, and to see him do his weird right-wing, like weird also like religious spin on stuff, but like in a bizarro way, because he's very strange. He's got a very strange flavor of how he represents that stuff. And to see him when I had only really ever heard of him at high school via the stoner kids laughing at his content occasionally, and I just overhear them occasionally talking about, you know, just like trying to imitate his voice and talking about something. And that was like I had never seen his content. I had never but like hearing that and going from that and like, I don't know, 10, 15, however many years later to this now, it's like, that is so fucking weird, man. This guy that everybody was like, the videos were just like ridiculous. They were considered, it was ridiculous, right? That's what it was. And it was something that you would just like those guys were just consuming it on their lunch hour. They just like, we'd go to lunch and come back, and they probably would have like gotten stoned and watched a bunch of Alex Jones videos because it was just like stupid shit to watch. It wasn't taken seriously. And for all of this to just transpire and like turn into what it was, just like, bro, what kind of timeline do we live on? Like what is happening? This is so weird. So I just wanted to like laugh at the fact that the Onion is gonna, you know, make it back into satire, which I'm very much excited about. And Alex Jones can go off and form the Alex Jones Network and probably fight another lawsuit and see what happens with that, and maybe lose all that stuff to the Onion too, because he's supposed to, like, you know, auction all his assets off, and he just makes new assets he's not supposed to. Anyway, long story short, we'll hopefully hear a little bit less of Alex Jones for at least a little while he tries to rebuild. And that'll be somewhat refreshing. So just wanted to test out the tweet feature. Look at this fancy tweet feature where it features the tweet in the middle here. It's so fancy. I just wish I could do like a Blue Sky post, or a skeet, I guess is what you call them. Hello. Oh god. Hello. Oh no. Oh no. Hello. Let's just do a little sneaky private. There's nothing to see here. You don't have to like focus. No. There's nothing. No. There's nothing. There's nothing here. There's no busted. There's nothing going on. There's not. Okay. Anyway, so it's just testing. I'm just testing this tweet this tweet feature. Look, I'm testing it. It's very cool. Testing. Anyway, it works. The tweet feature works. That's cool. What else do I got? Yeah. So that was the one thing. The other, as I wanted to actually, I had a couple stories. I just wanted, so we can go back to this screen. Hold on. Boop. Okay, cool. Here we go. So, okay. No, I'm not doing. There's nothing. No. This is just. I'm just testing. This was interesting. So I listened to a podcast about podcasting, and I've been listening to it for probably over a year now, I guess. Somewhere, like, I've definitely been listening to it since the beginning of putting out my podcast. I'm just trying to, like, it was somewhere back then. Anyway, so I've been listening to it for long enough, off and on. And it was off for a long time. Like, I listened to several episodes in a row when I was actively podcasting, and I was actively like doing stuff and then, like trying to be in that zone and that atmosphere, and like I was immersing myself in like podcast content, and it was just like a way to learn about, what platforms are out there and what software and stuff can do cool stuff. So it was like, I don't know, it interests me. And then when I wasn't doing that for a while, and I was kind of like burnt out after it's man after recording after recording that many episodes, um, trying to do one every 2 weeks, getting into the end of that, and like having to process and absorb, and then like what's the how do you explain, I don't know, like regurgitate the content, the Gamergate bullshit, all that from the timeline, and all the different like articles that I had read, and all this stuff, and like trying to do all that, get into the end. I was burnt out for a while, so I just didn't want to do more episodes for a while. I told myself I was going to take a break, and I did take a break, and it's like only in the last little while I certainly started kind of like getting back into it a little bit. It's all good. And so I started listening to the podcasts again, and I was listening to this podcast about podcasting again. So I went through the back catalog, and I've been listening to episodes from, I think, just where I left off. So I've been listening. I went back, and it was somewhere back in like April of last year, I think, is where I left off. So I'd gone back, and I'm listening, and out of I think I was trying to remember where I was on the way home, I think, or on the way to work. I think I was on the way home listening to it, and it was an episode where he was testing this platform that I'm actually using right now to do a stream. He uses it for his live video podcasts, and then turns the video into audio, and then puts the audio out as a podcast. He's doing an episode on where he's doing his podcast via this mechanism. You wouldn't, as a viewer, you wouldn't necessarily know that, because you're just on YouTube or Twitch watching it. So the content to you is the same. To him, there's a different backend and stuff. And so he's trying this, and there's this cool feature where you can bring in guests via like a Discord video call or a Zoom video call thing, but instead it's built into the platform. So it like you can generate like an invite, and send the invite to a guest, and the guest clicks it, and they're brought into like a dynamic Zoom room, like StreamYard. Like I think it's like, if you know StreamYard, if you know how like Leftist Mafia does their thing, it's exactly that kind of thing. So he was testing that, and then I think he was testing how many dynamic people you could get into a room, because I think the limit was something like 12 people is what he was saying that he had read on the website about the software, and like how many so this platform that I'm on, like how many people you can dynamically get into a scene where it'll just like put everybody into their little squares properly. And I think it was like 12 or some ridiculous number, right? So he's talking about this, and I'm listening on the way home, right? So I'm listening to this in my ears. I have no way to see it, and he's a pretty good podcaster, so he's pretty good about translating what's happening into audio. He doesn't let his audience like wonder what's happening if it's just like a strictly video thing. He treats it, it's an audio thing. So he's explaining what's happening, and I guess he put his link up on his website or something transpired where other people who are fans of the show, who I'm somewhat acquainted with based on the history, started joining the show, and so they would click, and they would go into a waiting room or something, and he would invite them in and try to fill up this dynamic scene to start adding people into it. So the first person joins, and he's like, oh hey, it's so and so. So he's already, sorry, I should mention, I should fill in, he's got a co-host already. He's got another guy who's on the podcast with him. So there's now 3 people that are in the scene, right? And I barely recognize the name. It's just a fan of the show who's probably in the YouTube chat or whatever. Hello, Stitchin. And so I don't know, I have no reason, like the only thing on my mind listening to this is like, oh, this is a cool platform. I wonder how many people, he can get into this show. And I'm just like casually listening because, again, I'm on my way home from work, just, with it in my ears, just so it's no big deal. And he starts adding more people. Okay. And I think he added a guy, and I recognized the name. I was like, okay, so there's like some other people that are commonly, watching the live show that he's doing for this podcast, and it's the same people that are often that he's shouting out, who are like the what are they called, his like favorite supporters. So he has some name for his supporters, and the ones who donate, $20 a month or whatever it is, he calls them a certain name. Anyway, those are often these names. So it's like I'm familiar enough with these rotating list of maybe like 10 different people that I've heard throughout the year and a half, whatever, of listening. So that's, there's another name that comes in, another person. Okay. And again, I'm not paying attention. I'm just on my way home. I'm just listening to this because I just want to learn about podcasting. Adds another person. Okay, so-and-so. Oh, it's another name I recognize. Okay, and they're all just chattering. I'm like, oh, hello, so-and-so. Oh, hello, so-and-so. And they're like, oh, well, you can get so-and-so. And it's all like, oh, hey, I thought I joined. It's very casual. I thought I joined the party. Oh, I heard you guys chattering. I figured I'd try and test this out and join in with you guys. I'm like, oh, hello, so-and-so. Oh, hello. And it's all fine, whatever. And they get up to, I think it's like six. It's like six of them in there. And it's pretty impressive, right? That's six. And because they're all podcasters, like they're all fans of a show about podcasting, so they're all podcasters, they're all fairly well disciplined on the mic, they're all fairly good about not talking over each other and stuff. So this is fine. Everything, like when it comes to having this many people in a panel that is like completely impromptu, they're actually pretty well behaved considering, who knows, right? But also they're a bunch of guys from the Midwest, a bunch of white middle-aged guys from the Midwest. And I know this because I've heard them talk about stuff, and I've eventually now seen some episodes where I've seen these people come on the show, and I've seen this, so I know, right? And out of nowhere, they're talking about one of the guy's hats, and again, I'm not paying any attention, right? I'm not paying any attention to this. I'm on my way home from work, right? And the one guy is like, oh, I see you're wearing one of his hats, like, oh yeah, I was trying to get it down to a rally with my son, and in my mind I'm like, oh man, is this what there's only it's either a sports hat or it's not. And I don't know, because I can't, again, I'm on the way home, there's only audio, right? And then at some point somebody just makes a MAGA, like a Make America Great Again joke, and it was like, oh, sure enough, I probably should have seen that coming. It was, this is this crowd, I should expect that. I was just like, fuck, I have gone this long, I have gone a year and a half or something without ever knowing that about any of the people that interact with this show. And that's how I have to, it's like, I didn't want to think about that at all. This is the podcast I go to for podcasting, not for anything else. It's the one that tries to pride itself on never touching any of that. And I listen to it because I probably also disagree with the guy's politics, but I never have to think about it because we don't talk about it. And all of a sudden, fucking, the hat, like, Of course. Anyways, and so that's like, that's like, okay, well, I guess I never want to probably like think about, talk to these these folks, or it's fine. I never have to interact with them. I never have to interact with them about politics. I never have to think about it. It's fine. But it's like, man, of course I had to there we are, right? So then I'm listening to an episode recently, and I have now, like, I don't know, I'm at least, well, not, I guess it was like, it was a recent episode because I was watching the YouTube channel for it. So I was watching one of the more recent ones, like two, no, was it even last Saturday, maybe? Yeah, might have been last Saturday. So, well, hello, Alice. Yeah, I can't answer your question. I don't know. I don't have any answers. So, like last Saturday, they're doing the live show, and occasionally I tune in because then I can, like, hear more current stuff. Maybe there's like some software, some technique, whatever that's like that I need to pay attention to that's happening now. So occasionally I'll catch the live one. And they're talking, and I had it. So I had my laptop over like the side of my bed, and I wasn't paying any attention. Again, I just kind of had it playing in the background while I was doing stuff on my phone, and I'm like listening, and out of nowhere, and they're talking about the different platforms, and out of nowhere he starts talking about Blue Sky, and about Blue Sky being some echo chamber, and about like there's like, if if you wanted that, and he's like, as an educator, I think that you really need to have, if you're in a place that's an echo chamber, you start having like difficulties, and you and I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, what the stop talking. Just, I'm like, I don't need to hear your stupid opinions about like what you think about Blue Sky that you've heard from some random person. Like, bro, just like, I didn't come here for this. Just what the fuck. So that, and then bro shows his whole ass. Like, oh my god, okay. I don't even know how to lean into this. I don't know where it came from, but he was saying something about censorship and about how like the mainstream media can't be trusted, blah blah blah, and it just went like it spiraled into him saying that if they had just apologized about if they just apologized, then we would believe them again. And then he's like, like they had said that if you got the juice, then, and this is literally him saying it, if you got the juice, then you wouldn't get it, and that was a lie. And I'm like, what are we doing, man? What are you talking about? Are you literally, did you just call the vaccine are you literally one of those people that like, what are we doing? I didn't tune in to hear this. This is a podcast about podcasting, bro. Like, what are we doing? So that was fun. It was a good time. That was and that was, I mean, okay, so I think the silver lining from all of this is that it took a really long time for that to come out, because I've been listening to the show for at least a year and a half, right? So like, if I could listen to the show for a year and a half with an episode at least every week, and I, and it, oh shit, yeah, oh man, I gotta like remove all those, don't I? And since I like listen every week, I think it's a pretty good sign that I hadn't hit that until now. But god damn, that really killed my respect for that guy. Like, bro, you just like, you're killing me. Just stop talking about anything to do with any of your crazy beliefs. Get back to talking about podcasting software, and I'll listen to your podcast again, man. But just like, I don't need to hear your revelations on how the vaccines were a lie. I do not want to go there. Holy shit, do I not want to? Jesus Christ. Yeah, so I should probably update that, because I haven't streamed Tarkov in probably at least the 5 years since I've streamed it all. So yeah, so I should probably get rid of those. That's fine. I'll clean that up after. I promise by the next time I'll get that all cleaned up. But I do have more content besides my little silly stories. But yeah, I just wanted to share that I was just like fucking floored by that guy. Bro, I don't tune in to listen to this shit. I literally tune in to not listen to this shit specifically. Jesus. Ugh. All right. So let me see if I can cue this up properly. I have to switch scenes again. Bear with me. Oh, actually, no. Before we continue, I do want to mention. So there's some cool software called Owncast, which allows you to host your own like stream, essentially streaming platform ish, I guess. Like you can host a server that'll have like a Twitch, video thing, like you're probably viewing me through with a chat box and shit. Oh, my cord keeps getting stuck behind me here. Sorry. And so you can like run that on server and point your OBS or whatever at it, and then you would tell people to visit that, and then you don't have to rely on Twitch or anything else. But also you would then have to pay for all of the infrastructure, like all of it. You have to pay for all the bandwidth, all the storage, all that stuff. So you're responsible for everything. You're responsible for hooking up any sort of like authentication or payment methods or anything to accept any sort of payment. You're responsible for like partnering with any sort of payment processors. It's all on you, because all it does is provide like an interface where if you hit the website, it has like a nice video player that'll play the stream that is hitting it from the client that you're hitting it with. But aside from that, like you're responsible for everything else. Like there's no other bells and whistles. It's just a place to watch a free stream if it's just out of the box. So I think there's opportunity there, because based on like White Nervosa was doing, and like what other like leftist or other progressive, even non-progressive streamers, the folks that have their sites and it's like they're afraid of the censorship and other stuff. So I think there's opportunity there to explore that, either with a co-op or something, to try and like arrange something, because I know there's other places that you're more likely to be able to like have long form essays that aren't going to be taken down by YouTube or demonetized by YouTube, like places like Nebula, where the paywall, oh geez, I mean, this is the thing, I don't want to like speculate, because I think it would be pretty expensive. Like I think it would be very expensive. But I don't want to speculate. We'd have to look into it. Like all that would have to look into it. Somebody with a better business brain than I have would have to look into all that stuff. But there is opportunity there, at least technical wise, to explore something. So there's something at least in the back of my mind. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that up. Wanted to make sure that the folks were aware that there's other alternatives out there, and eventually, hopefully, if you get a link to a different site and it's not a Twitch embed, oh my god, we're finally getting there, right? Yeah, that would be pretty cool, actually. Like a Nebula on InfoWars. So I think something that I have sort of like a bone to pick with is, unfortunately, that for progressive streamers to pay their bills, they have to paywall a lot of their content, a lot of their best content, right? Which then means that the people that need to be learning that content might not have access to that content. Or so it's like it's this really unfortunate sort of like thing where those people need to eat, but if you are already broke, because because you don't cave to the system in other ways, you can't afford to access these other very useful videos and content and stuff like that. So there's this thing where like it would be cool if there was a more exposure paid for by institutions that can afford it, to make that more public, more accessible, and free. Ideally, that'd be really cool. So yeah, I mean, I don't, unfortunately. I don't even think I do, actually, Sky. Like, I honestly think I don't have it anymore. Yeah, I think like that would be cool. InfoWars turning into like progressive video would be, I mean, an amazing idea. I would love that. I don't see that happening, but I would love that. But I do think that like that has to happen in some capacity, where for these ideas to be better, I don't know, disseminated, they have to be more accessible, and so there has to be less paywalls. But I also understand that people need to eat, so I don't want to deprive people of being able to eat either, right? So it's this whole catch-22 thing. So anyway, on to see if this works now. Okay, yes. Okay, not the tweet. Go Go away tweet. We're screen sharing. All right. Okay, so I have a Hassan video. A Hassan video. I don't know why I said it like that. I have a Hassan video about the change to Twitch's policy on language and the whole Zionist thing. So I think it's a good video. It's long, but I enjoyed it, and we can dissect it. But I don't think we really need to dissect it that much. We can just enjoy most of it, skip through half of it, maybe watch it on double speed or something. Let me see here. Before I queue it up, do like 1.25. We'll see how fast he talks. Hold on, let me just see.
Are yelling from Kick, okay? Like, it's such a...
Oh yeah, no, this is good. This is good. Okay, hold on. All right. All right. Okay, bear with me.
Is happening. We have updated our enforcement guidelines. I think Twitch needs to stop caving to these
if the
goons, okay? These little goobers that are cynically crying about like hateful misconduct happening on a platform that literally has the most rigorous application of its own terms of service. It's crazy that the guys that are yelling from Kick, okay? Like, it's such an overt, and cynical, silly ass thing. And it's like people who are banned, by the way, I know people who are banned because they violated the terms of service are now attacking the platform and trying to do anything and everything they possibly can. Train coming for you. Using the term to refer to a political movement, whether it's in a supportive or critical way, does not violate our hateful conduct policy. As a part of our hateful conduct policy, we prohibit the use of term that may not be harmful or abusive in isolation.
We should probably read through this whole thing. Let me actually go to bigger view here. Let's see if this other scene works, because I have one where it should have the whole screen.
But can be used as a slur to denigrate others in certain contexts. In line with that approach, starting today, using the term Zionist to attack or demean another individual or group of people on the basis of their background or religious beliefs against our rules. We recognize that Zionist or Zionism also refer to a political movement. Using the term to refer to the political movement, whether in a supportive or critical way, does not violate our hateful conduct policy. Our goal isn't to stifle conversation about criticism of an institution or ideology, but to prevent coded hate directed at individuals or groups of people. We include examples of language we prohibit in our enforcement here. So I think it's like, you can't say like, going forward, okay, like chat, you do realize like you're all gonna get banned, right? I mean, it's fine. If you want to get banned, you can get banned. I know that you disagree with this, and I disagree with it as well, but there's not really anything you can do. It's just, it is what it is. Twitch is caving and capitulating to people that are 100% doing this cynically in an effort to basically hurt the platform that they were banned from, okay? Move to Kick? No, I'm not gonna move to the file Nazi website, dude. Get out of here. People are so stupid. Yeah, dude.
This is why I chose this one, because he's like, I don't have to break this down. Like, he's just going to explain here why this is just so ridiculous throughout this whole thing. So I just want to lead with, like, I'm probably not going to interrupt too much because he does a really good job of explaining why this is kind of silly.
I know we should move to Kick, really a platform that definitely has a rigorous application of terms of service. You just can't use.
Also, the fact that this, like, as he says, this is just this isn't real. This isn't genuine. This is like a revenge tactic. But this is a strong arming. This is throwing your weight around as a revenge tactic, which is just, it's silly. This is just going to make a bunch of extra problems, right?
Zionism as an insult. And that's what, or Zionist as an insult is what they're saying. It is what it is. You just got to live with it. Okay. I don't know what else to say. There's nothing I can do about it. All of this cynical smear campaign with mass hate emails being sent to every advertiser, all of this brigading from institutions that normally don't give a are not actually genuinely offended or anything, but just don't want any drama whatsoever, are going to have repercussions. And this is what I've been talking about over and over again, saying that these guys literally have tried to forcibly trigger an adpocalypse and are making Twitch they're forcing Twitch to just, be punished. How do you regulate that? No matter what happens, I'm not one of these people that's even if it's something that's stupid, okay? And this is a stupid conduct enforcement policy. It's really vague, and it's really difficult to truly figure out how to use it. But the reality of the matter is, if you say fascists, okay, no one is gonna get mad at you. So that's what I will continue to do. I don't think is it bannable to call terrorists others terrorists based on their background? No, it's not. You want to know why it's not? Because Islamophobia is institutionally permitted. Hello, welcome. Okay, understand the world that we exist in. Wake up. There's not really much I can do about it. It is what it is. Read the examples it gives under enforcement notes. It seems fine.
Okay, where is it?
The language used to call.
That's the part that sucks. Is he's right. He's right. I hate it, and obviously chat hates it too. But it sucks that the best you can do is, which I think a lot of you have done, which is amazing, is sign the petitions against it and voice your opinion on why this is stupid. There's the Twitch change user voice thing that you can submit your changes on, so your ideas on, and there's one against calling this out, or there's one against this whole thing, and there's one calling this out, which I've seen a lot of people comment on, which is great. That's something you can do, but I don't want people to get banned and then not have their voice anymore, because that defeats the purpose. So if you end up using the words and you get yourself kicked off the platform, you're no longer able to present the problem, to be vocal about it anymore, to report on it anymore, which kind of kills momentum, right? So make sure that we're still adhering as best we can to the rules while this plays out. We'll see what happens. We'll see if it rectifies, if they pull back at all.
Review. We want to make sure that our hateful conduct policy continues to be flexible and cover terms that may be used to cause harm to others. We'll continue to evaluate. Yeah, I just think that they're caving to Zionism. People use it as a catch-all to say all Jews, and what they don't realize is when that happens, right? When that happens, then the same people that have been crying about it are going to turn around and say, look at all the times where they were talking about Zionism. This violates the policy. Yep. Why haven't you banned this guy? I'm telling you right now, it's like a two-step program. Okay. That's precisely what they're going to do now. They have all my chats logged, my community's chats logged. They're going to go back to the advertisers and be like, Twitch is not following through on its own enforcement policies. Look at all the times when people have talked about Zionism, the political ideology, and Twitch itself now recognizes Zionism as a different way to say, Jewish person, which is not true, right? Yeah, I have talked over and over and over again under very academic settings about these sorts of values. The hilarity of the situation is, this is unironically what conservatives used to complain about when they fantasized about college campuses not letting free speech exist in an environment, and they're doing that. There's never been a moment where I haven't specifically offered context, historical context or analysis in this sort of stuff when I'm covering these sorts of issues. And yet it's so easy to just rob it of its context and just be no, this guy is anti-Semitic, this guy is hateful, and then
yeah, it's wielded like a cudgel, right? You can smack down actual anti-Semitism and also any criticism of stuff you don't like that's happening in certain places, right? Oh, that's, we can't talk about that. But what the fuck?
Basically repeat it over and over and over again, and like bully advertisers as well who are afraid of political content regardless. And then Twitch is scared of massive losses of revenue, or even like Amazon, coming down the hammer and striking Twitch in a meaningful way. So they just like cave. It's people very cynically using a lot of these organizations' lack of interest in getting into any controversy or putting themselves out there in any meaningful fashion. It's basically them, caving to this. It's caving to like very clearly cynical losers who are falsely smearing people as like anti-Semitic from a platform that has like literally straightforward Nazi, like a platform that houses Nazis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like these are kick streamers yelling about Twitch. It's so obvious what's going on, and it's not even hidden. You know what I mean? Look, this is from their own subreddit, right? The guy who's doing this, Dan Can't Stream, he's like the main guy. No bad tactics, only bad targets. They would just as soon use these methods on you. Strategy number one of the CIA when they want to topple a far/left government is to create infighting. You are not MAGA enough. You are not a real freedom fighter. To my knowledge, the CIA doesn't engage in canvassing operations or advocacy. This tactic should have been left to the Autism Squad or whatever the secret DG operatives call themselves. Destiny may lose credibility as an advocate for democracy if he allows or supports his community in sharing information with fascist, democratic media figures. Turning the fascist machinery against itself is a fair game. It's effective warfare, and I completely disagree with your high road take. This is when they were talking about going to Libs of TikTok. Libs of TikTok. Chaya Raichik is that transphobic loser that they were collaborating with, and his own community was like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you working with these fascists to try to take down Twitch?" And he basically was like, "I don't care. I just want to take them down. I will work with whoever I can." I've heard they have a Tom Cotton collab in the works as well. And it's like, that's it. You are having one of the most far-right orgs take down far-left content, both of them hating Jews, creating huge stress for the moderates of both parties and forcing both to want a distance from them. The meme of this is a weapon of the enemy. We do not need this for anime. In real life, we pick up the proverbial gun and shoot the motherfucker. Not just yelling, but also engaging in Islamophobia in the process of calling out hate speech. Very weird. They aren't going to stop until Hasanabi is banned. They straight up said it, lol. I know. And like, they don't care. That's the worst part about it, is that like, look, in their endless like interest of getting Destiny unbanned, which is like what Dan openly said he wanted to do, or get me banned, one or the other, right? They're basically fucking destroying this goddamn platform, or trying to destroy this goddamn platform, and it's crazy. And no, Twitch will not die soon. I know everybody always says this dumb shit, but no, I don't think Twitch is going to die soon, guys. I don't think that like a bunch of loser brigaders are going to cause the entire platform to collapse. It's just, like I said, it's still very, very frustrating. It's very frustrating to see that like these guys are basically botting mass email campaigns. Zionist settlers keep encroaching Palestinian borders. Yeah, we prohibit the use of terms that may not be harmful or abusive in isolation, but can be used as a slur to denigrate others in certain contexts. Yeah, that's basically it. Similar to terms that may be used as a proxy for protected group, we treat Zionists as a proxy for Jews or Israelis if the word is used in a context to promote harm or violence, or when used to make dehumanizing comparisons, or perpetuate anti-Semitic stereotypes. Comments regarding Zionism that are about the political movement, including criticism, do not violate our hateful conduct policy. Comments that call for violence against Zionism as a political movement, or comments that would otherwise violate our policies, are not allowed. Okay? So that's it. You can't use it as a pejorative. You can talk about it as a political movement. And I know a lot of you are going to want to try and use it as a pejorative. And every single person that's like saying that right now, every single person that's like using that as a pejorative is getting logged. Right? You're most likely going to get banned from the platform. Okay. Not only are you going to get banned from the platform, but before you get banned from the platform, Destiny will use the things that you're saying in the chat. And his community will use the things that you're saying in the chat to try to get me banned from the platform as well. I'm just letting y'all know.
This is a website doing deep data analysis. We have a live stream of Hassan's Discord and Denim's Discord.
This is bad.
And everyone else's Discord to another Revolt.
So they're already
kind of like another Discord server. So we can go in there at any time and we can search for any message. Even if they wipe everything, we still have it. Good. So we've been doing that for like a year.
Twitch is going against UN resolutions. No, it doesn't matter. They're not like as aggro, and they're not doing they're not going as aggro as like the IHRA definition. Okay, literally like saying you can't say Nazis are bad. No, it's not like that. You can say Zionism is a harmful political ideology. I agree it's dumb to capitulate, but it also seems like it's the same as the wheat thins controversy, so at least they're being consistent. Maybe I'm off base. It is no different than the wheat thins controversy, except this time when most people look at like anti-white racism as a joke, anti-Semitism is real, unlike anti-white racism or whatever the So obviously, while most brands don't have a problem with the term cracker, okay, when you establish guidelines and rules about Zionism in this way, and you basically say, no, the framing that like Zionism can be a catch-all or a substitute for Jewish people, then yeah, a lot of people will also agree with that. Like there is no institution that is going to uphold anti-white racism, okay, or treat it seriously. But of course, anti-Semitism, unlike anti-white racism, like saying the word cracker, is a real thing. Anti-Semitism is a real thing. It's a real historic wrong, right? And I think that's what it is. So yeah, when you say stuff like that, this is a good example of someone who's gonna get banned. Okay, like, and I banned them as well personally, but you can't do that. That's it. Thank you for demonstrating what kind of speech now is not allowed on the website. Imagine being 40 and throwing a publicly broadcast tantrum like you're 4. Pig dog is also an anti-Jewish slur, apparently. Jew here, I didn't know this. Yeah, I didn't know that either. I just realized they're gonna try to get you banned when you say hogs. Maybe. So how does this apply to calling people a Nazi on Twitch when we know they get heard about anti-white racism and Nazi can be conflated with white people, particularly Germans? I think that it's not going to be. It's not. I researched it. Wait, is it? Bro, the other day, Asmongold said, Chaz said based at a Jewish conspiracy theory. I wonder if any of them got banned. No. I guess the only thing I can say is this, it's going to go away eventually. You just have to wait it out, you know?
Even
it sucks.
doesn't believe that this
and I wish that these guys would like spend their time and efforts on something else, but they're not going to stop, especially when like, when an institution actually caves to this kind of like cynical framing, they get a taste of it. Like there's a reason why it compounded since the ARIPS podcast got banned, right? Because if someone is just constantly going, this is a problem, this is a problem, this is a problem, and the platform doesn't actually offer it any sort of seriousness, right? It's illegitimate. And I know this because like these guys went to the New York Post and like every outlet they possibly could with this story, and no serious outlet took it seriously. They were like, okay, this seems like yet another instance where you are conflating anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism. We're not going to cover it, right? So it was always like illegitimate propaganda rags that were engaging in it. But that's neither here nor there. Like the only people that would like take this kind of seriously was the likes of Richie Torres, and it would never have been a thing, but then Twitch took action against the Sabra Hummus tier list. And then when Twitch took action against the Sabra Hummus tier list, just like the cracker thing, right, it became a serious situation, right? It became a serious situation after that. It's only real if a like legitimate institution it's only real if a legitimate institution takes the cynical framework seriously. If everyone goes, you guys are ridiculous, you literally have you're yelling from the platform that has like straight up neo-Nazis on it, shut the fuck up, how ridiculous of you, then it doesn't go anywhere. They can compound on it over and over again and just like manifest or fester in their own hatred. It would never go anywhere. But then when institutions do take it seriously out of fear because they are worried, then obviously in that process, like now people are going to write articles about this, right? Yeah. Twitch Apocalypse has begun following criticism of the platform for anti-Semitism, with nearly all creators reporting a noticeable drop in their revenue. Interesting. Don't listen to this propaganda. They're not lying. All the phases complaining in the group chat. Yeah. I said this. I talked about this. I said, Asmongold, you're like collaborating with these losers is really dangerous territory. That's what I was referencing.
What would happen if they don't ban for a month? I'm going to. Empty threat. We're going to get to that.
Oh, God.
So I went and I said that if this guy doesn't get banned for 2 weeks, I am going to bring Dan Saltman, who is the guy who has been talking about all of the anti-Semitism. And by the way, I don't want to spoil a whole lot, but he and I have had extensive conversations about this.
I was like, you're playing with fire. Like, these guys want to tank the platform because they're just straightforwardly filled with hate. Okay,
Crossover.
That's it. And it's not even necessarily just like Asmongold. Asmongold is just like another party in this process. But it's basically the most straightforward way of someone cynically trying to do cancel culture. And I don't know why people don't understand it. Like, this is straightforwardly a Kiwi Farm style operation.
Yes.
They used to do this back in the day. Like, the Nazis used to do this shit all the time. They would like
4chan,
dox people. They would do like mass email campaigns. Ironically enough, everyone thinks liberals do this kind of, but it's usually these guys.
The trolls are not unwilling to, to lie, to social engineer essentially, which is like lying, but like lying in a way that you're convincing somebody at the other end of the phone that you're maybe an authority figure, some sort of official, you have some sort of official capacity, and either you need access to something, or you need you need something done. So this is like, as much as this is just like the fact that the people behind this happen to speak or are basically speaking on behalf of a whole ethnicity and trying to weaponize that. And it's just like Kiwi Farms and other stuff, and 4chan doing the same thing. I mean, it's very the similarities are like right on point.
Usually the 4chan guys that would do this kind of, like, people who just say every slur known to man, would so quickly utilize like liberal institutions and their interest in maintaining like this aesthetic of progress by doing this sort of thing. Asmon's ban was the first thing that started it, man. You have to admit it. What do you mean admit what? Asmongold being banned for their inferior cultures that deserve to be genocided would have been a normal application of the terms of service if his entire community, but it's not even him, he's just being used in this process. If Destiny didn't use that as an opportunity to be like, let's bring in as many people to our cause as possible to go over Twitch.
I mean,
like,
I think it's going to take a few days, or at least
slandering Twitch over and over again.
Figure out.
Yeah, and then you got the Kick co-founder saying the platform will either beat Twitch or buy them out. ADL liked it. They said, in the time of dangerously escalating anti-Semitism, we commend Twitch for changing their policy regarding the use of Zionist as a slur and proxy for hate against Jews. We are glad that Twitch acted on our recommendation to make this change. However, policy is only strong as enforcement, and we will be vigilant and appropriately skeptical about Twitch's enforcement of this new policy. When one of the largest streamers on Twitch, Hassan Piker, spends the hours after the Amsterdam pogrom minimizing the harm without consequence, it's still the...
Okay, let me just pause him then for a sec. Yeah, I have the politics content thingy flag on right now. So I mean, I have no idea, and I'm not even able to see. Let me check my ad stuff. Actually, hold on. All right. I mean, I have no idea what's going to happen. I guess we can run that as an experiment. We can see for the next few weeks, month, I don't know, however long it takes, and see if that tag actually impacts stuff or not.
I do sometimes.
No, don't go. No. Hold on.
I hate this. It is so... Twitch acted on our recommendation to make this change. However, policy is only strong as enforcement, and we will be vigilant and appropriately skeptical about Twitch's enforcement of this new policy. When one of the largest streamers on Twitch, Hassan Piker, spends the hours after the Amsterdam pogrom minimizing the harm of...
Is there anything useful?
Yeah, they want me to... What do you want me to do? Like, Israel is the best? I'm sorry, guys. There it is. You got it. You won. Israel is the best. There's no genocide happening. Israel, and if there was one happening, it's good. Is that what you want me to say? man. I hate this. It is so deliberately like trying to stop real speech, like normal conversations from taking place on this matter. It is so up. It's so insane. I feel like I'm losing my goddamn mind, dude. Fizz, the ADL praised our team's moderation when we were helping AOC for how little anti-Semitism they saw in the chat, but now all of a sudden you're anti-Semitic. Yeah, this community has been so active in fighting against anti-Semitism, more so than virtually every other community online. And the reason for that is because we are very knowledgeable on this, okay? That's it. Many people don't even understand anti-Semitism. Many people don't even think about it. They might say shit that is anti-Semitic without even realizing it. We don't even let that shit slide. I use that as an educational opportunity all the damn time. Yeah, the ADL's doing all this when RFK Jr. just got nominated as an option by Trump. You were the only one given visibility to genocide in Palestine. You were an easy target between all the noise and distractions. This is the same kind of shit they did to Jeremy Corbyn, and it sucks. Yeah, and many normal people were like, yeah, I guess he is. I guess he is anti-Semitic. Like, people still think he's anti-Semitic. He's not.
Can we do a little test? Can I talk over him and you can tell me what volume, like how low I have to bring him for you to actually hear me? Because I'd like to get all that stuff settled if I'm going to stick with this thing. So let's see. Play Hassan.
The ADL still advertises on
Talking
Elon's
over
Twitter.
Hassan.
I know. Yeah.
Talking.
Meanwhile, the UN Special Committee finds
me
Israel's
talking.
warfare
Talking
methods
over
in Gaza
Hassan.
consistent with genocide, including
Still
use of
talking.
starvation as a weapon of war. This just happened yesterday. Israel's
Dude,
warfare in Gaza
I
is
need to be
consistent with
louder.
the characteristics
Okay.
of genocide, with mass civilian casualties and
Just gonna
life-threatening
lower
conditions
Hassan.
intentionally imposed on Palestinians there. The UN Special Committee to investigate Israeli practices said in a new report released today.
I'm just going to find a lower, like a point where I can just know where I can lower it. That, or I have to add some sort of ducking or something.
Food, water.
His voice is piercing. God damn you, Hassan. You and your piercing voice. Your piercing, progressive voice. Your piercing, handsome. But anyway, let's try it like this, maybe somewhere. Yes, but it's no Hassan. Okay, hold on.
And fuel, the committee said. These statements along
What about,
with systematic
like,
and unlawful interference of
There.
humanitarian aid
Can you hear me
make
now?
clear
Can you hear me
Israel's
over him
intent
better
to
there? If
instrumentalize
he's still going,
life-saving
if he's
supplies
still
for
rambling
political
on, you can
military
still
gains.
can hear me
They're
maybe.
trying to get you banned, buddy. Yeah, no, I know that.
Test
Is
test
this
1
deity?
2
Then
1
yes,
2
it's
1
mostly
2 1 2
Destiny's
test test
community.
1 2
They're
1
just
2 1
using whoever
2
they
2
can,
2.
and
He definitely
they
has,
really-
yeah.
they
He
really
did.
participate in
You
this.
can hear me fine
Yeah.
now. Okay,
Similar
that's good.
to
Okay,
Ben
so I can
and
lower
Jerry,
him
it's
to
really
like
funny. Ben and
pretty
Jerry's is
fucking
gonna sue
low
over
in order to hear
Palestine.
me.
They're,
Yeah, now you can't hear him well,
corporation
right?
they're under. Ben and
That's
Jerry's,
that's
by the way,
fine.
owned
I don't need
by,
to hear. That's fine.
Jewish
Hold on.
people.
Until I figure things out, I'm just gonna have to manually adjust things. You're just gonna work with me, okay? Just work with me, folks. I just this is all new. I haven't done this in a long time. The platform's new that I'm using. All this is new. Okay, just work with me. I'm gonna turn him back up. And play.
People, for the record.
Let's
Like,
see if
I
it
believe,
actually-
if I'm not mistaken, both Ben and Jerry are Jewish. They've also been a long supporter of BDS.
Oh yeah, okay. So I think this is the other part I wanted to get to. It took us 20 something minutes to get here when I probably should have skipped through, but again, so this whole thing is this is good.
Ice cream company Ben and Jerry's is suing its parent company, the British multinational consumer goods giant Unilever. Why? Well, Ben and Jerry's claims that Unilever silenced it from speaking out in support of Palestine. It also claims that Unilever threatened to dismantle its board and sue board members over the issue.
I'm going to use a feature. Hold on. All right. Fabula asks, what is it called? It is called EV Mux. Let me, I'll type it in chat. It's like a StreamYard ripoff, but like StreamYard merged with a little bit more like OBSing. I don't know. So it's a hosted streaming platform. And I don't know, just like there's obviously not as much flexibility as there with OBS. Like OBS, you could do anything, right? You can have anything anywhere you want. This you kind of have to know how you're building your stuff, but if you're willing to work with what it's got, it's kind of fun. Yes, I did. Now, how do I get rid of that? There we go. Yeah, I mean, this is also a test, is really just having the mic there. Oh, I guess hold on. I can turn that up a bit. Because there's about, like, I have different mics. I can try a lapel mic next time. Maybe we can see how that works. This is just one of many. This is just, all of this is just a big experiment. Just a big good time.
Unilever rejects these claims. But in the lawsuit, Ben & Jerry's says it has tried to call for a ceasefire, it has tried to support safe passage for Palestinian refugees to the UK, it has tried to back US student protests on Gaza,
beer exploded.
and it tried to advocate for the Biden administration to stop sending military aid to Israel. But in each area, it claims to have been effectively muzzled by Unilever. Tensions have been simmering between the ice cream manufacturer and its parent company for years. In 2021, Ben & Jerry's tried to take a stand on illegal Israeli settlements in the occupied West Bank.
Is that his computer?
Ben & Jerry's said it would stop selling its products there, as doing so was inconsistent with its brand values. So Unilever decided to sell its Ben & Jerry's business in Israel and the West Bank to Israeli licensee Avi Zinger, allowing marketing in the West Bank and Israel to continue. Ben & Jerry's responded by suing Unilever in 2022 to try to block the sale. That 2022 lawsuit was settled in the same year, and the terms of the settlement were not made public. But in their new lawsuit, Ben & Jerry's is now accusing Unilever of breaching the terms of the 2022 settlement. The brand says Peter Culver, Unilever's head of ice cream, that is a job, voiced concerns about, quote, the continued perception of anti-Semitism regarding Ben & Jerry's speaking up for Gazan refugees. The 2022 settlement also required...
Also, can we talk about the inception of, like, us watching Hassan watch this TikTok and, like, I'm finally, look at me, Mom, I made it. I'm doing the thing. What have I become?
Unilever to make a $5 million payment that Ben & Jerry's could donate to human rights groups of its choice. Ben & Jerry's picked Jewish Voice for Peace and the San Francisco Bay Area chapter of the Council on American Islamic Relations, amongst others. According to the lawsuit, Unilever wasn't happy with Ben & Jerry's choosing a Jewish Voice for Peace, saying it was, quote, too critical of the Israeli government. Now, relations, amongst others. According to the lawsuit, Unilever wasn't happy with Ben & Jerry's choosing a Jewish Voice for Peace, saying it was, quote, too critical of the Israeli government. Now, Unilever owns plenty of popular household brand names.
By the way, like they've always been fantastic. They're so sick.
They've always been pretty base. It's true. And their ice cream's great.
Like, look, man, I got so much love for you. I got so much love for you if you have been, keeping up with this cause for years and years. And Ben & Jerry's is like that. They're fantastic. They're incredible. I just wish that their ice cream was like lower calorie, I think. Here are the four posts Ben & Jerry's said its parent company ordered for.
I love what they do. They're amazing. Everything they stand for is incredible. I just wish I could eat more of their ice cream. I mean, I guess. That's fair. I'm with you.
Not to publish. Ben & Jerry's filed a lawsuit against its parent company Unilever on Thursday. It claims that Unilever stopped it from making 4 public statements supporting Palestinians. Unilever rejects the claim, saying it would defend its case very strongly. Ben & Jerry's taken legal action against its parent company. Here are the posts from the lawsuit. December 2023, ceasefire call. Ben & Jerry's claims it told Unilever in December 2023 they planned on issuing a statement calling for peace and a permanent ceasefire.
Ben & Jerry's claims it told... Hold on, let me see. The battle for our arteries. Okay, let me see if I can make this big screen. Oh, God. Well, that's not what I wanted. Can you hear me now? Obviously. I was talking before. Eat. Don't eat. Hold on a second. Wait. Hold on. Wait. Stygian says, high blood pressure is one of the top killers. Eat better people. So, like, eat people that are better for you? Oh, not that. I don't know. You heard me, Igloo? Okay, cool. Let me just try.
Ceasefire in Gaza. At the time, Israel was several weeks into a sprawling, a permanent and immediate ceasefire, the statement read. May 2024, visas for refugees. Ben & Jerry's tried to issue another statement in May 2024 through
Permanent and immediate
social activism managers in Europe. This one called for legal immigration pathway to the UK for Palestinians fleeing the war in Gaza, the lawsuit said. Just like the UK did for Ukrainians, we asked for the government to urgently create a visa scheme allowing Palestinians to reunite safely with their loved ones.
Yeah, how hard
UK.
is it?
June 2024, supporting campus protests. Ben & Jerry said it intended to support pro-Palestinian college protesters in the U.S. by posting a public statement in June. It said the post would support their First Amendment rights, but the lawsuit did not include its text.
Free Palestine.
In September, Ben & Jerry sought to endorse Bernie Sanders' resolution calling for legislation blocking $20 billion in arms sales to Israel. We urge you to join us in calling on the Senate to pass their Sanders resolution and halt an additional $20 billion in military aid to Israel, the statement said. I like that people... My point is this, okay? People talk about how wokeism is dead, cancel culture is dead. We hate these identity politics. But if it's serving the interest of like reactionary goals, reactionary agendas, if it's serving the interest of like defending an apartheid state, defending a genocide, or silencing critics of a genocide in an apartheid state, then everybody loves it. Okay, people use it, they love it, they don't even talk about it. It's really up. Professor of Holocaust history Goldberg condemns all violence against Jews, but according to him, the riots in Amsterdam have nothing to do with the pogrom. The problem is the genocide in Gaza. You know what's really crazy? Remember the J Street poll that I showed you of American Jews and their opinion on ceasefire in Gaza and even denying arms transfers? American Jews overwhelmingly support that. Okay, overwhelmingly. And there are Jews in the Netherlands that are protesting against Israel right now, and it still doesn't matter. Okay? It doesn't matter. It's crazy. It's like we are not listening to anybody on this issue. It's like people are of one mind. They're like, nope, doesn't matter. Don't give a It is anti-Semitic to claim that Jews are monolithic. It is anti-Semitic to claim that Jews all exclusively care about and defend Israel, okay? And, you know, woke people do this as well. Woke people do this all the time. They also do this. And you know who else does it? Even more frequently? Anti-Semites. This is why I never, like, when people try to do, like, 4chan memes where they say, like, Zionist occupied government or ZOG or whatever, like, I don't let that slide in here at all. Because I also understand that there are, and I've said this time and time again, there are plenty of people, there are definitely a non-zero number of anti-Semitic people that have attached themselves to anti-Zionism. This is true. Okay, 100%. And if I catch you doing something like that, I ban you. It's that simple. And it's always been that way. I use it as an edge.
I mean, that's the stupid thing about this whole thing, right? It's like people, and Hassan especially, and the fact that he's being targeted is the most ridiculous part, because he's already been aggressively good about knowing where that line is drawn and who the bad actors are in his chat who need to be banned, you know, when they're talking about that. He's not the problem, and to then try and make this not only like a policy thing, but then to also weaponize this policy immediately against him as soon as they're trying to say, you know, you needed this policy, and now look who's breaking your policy, or who has at least in the past broken your policy. I mean, Hassan is not the problem here, and to go after him, as I think he probably says here, it takes away from going after the real problem. It's just a distraction from the actual, especially since these people are not on Twitch. They're like friggin' on Kick and other platforms. It's just, this is such a ridiculous thing.
Educational opportunity to explain to people why this is wrong thinking. But if you were to tell me like, oh, do you feel like you're maybe in the wrong?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're just wrong? And you know, the Americans.
I mean, that's literally what this is, right? That's all this is. This is just so fucking insane that it's literally Hassan bad. So let's, you know, make a new rule on Twitch that's going to cause a whole bunch of problems. Let's just, and it doesn't, like, I mean, Hassan's not even the one who's going to feel the impact the most. That's the stupid part. The guy has enough money to bounce back and do whatever he wants on other platforms and other stuff. But like, there are other streamers now who are, this is going to be used against them too. They're the ones who are going to feel the impact when they can't bounce back as easily as fucking Hassan can. So this is like, it pains me that this is taken seriously.
State Department is right on this? Like, no, I don't. And the question, I guess, remains, which State Department? Because there are other organs of within the American State Department.
It's already against the rules to use hate speech. It's already against the rules to use a bunch of stuff and do these things. It's like, this is just making nuance for the sake of being able to point at certain instances.
That also are in alignment with me. It's just at the tippy top, they do not care. This is one of the most like revealing aspects of being pro-Israel.
No, they're not.
Ben Shapiro, all the way back in 2015, after Ann Coulter says some horrific that is deeply anti-Semitic about Jewish people, Ben Shapiro tweeted, Ann Coulter tweets regarding Jews awful, nonsensical. Ann Coulter is also super pro-Israel and has always been so. So
right? Like, what is this? What is this? Ann Coulter tweets regarding Jews awful, nonsensical. Ann Coulter also super pro-Israel, so I'm okay. Like, how is that? Doesn't make it okay. You could be anti-Semitic and pro-Israel. That's the whole problem. That's the whole like that's the whole second coming agenda thing, isn't it? Like, Jesus Christ.
I won't lose sleep. You can now report people for terrorism now on Twitch. What does that even mean on an internet platform? I don't know, but I do know what that is going to look like. Any sort of conversation that talks about like militancy, resistance groups, any sort of conversation
call out
that
right? This just serves as a distraction from actual folks who should be recognized, from actual issues that should be talked about. And instead we have something else, some other discourse now that we have to abide by, because some folks decided to take it upon themselves to make this whole thing about themselves and their campaign and their views. It's just, when there's like a whole swath of other folks out there that really should be, you know, getting the limelight for at least a little while, or I don't know, forever, you know, like, what are we doing? This is such a waste of time.
You could have under normal academic circumstances, okay, about how terror organizations are designated as terror organizations, what the political application and the practical application of the designation of terror looks like, okay? All of that stuff is now not allowed to be talked about. That's it. All of that stuff is, nope, can't do it, not allowed. It's crazy.
Yep. So, yeah. That was, here, let's kill that. Just boop. that was Hassan covering it better than I could. I think so. I saw that, and I figured he could, half an hour, but at least it's like he covers the whole thing, and it just explained better than I could, and yeah. So I mean, it's frustrating. I think we just kind of have to ride that one out. And again, I don't want to see anybody banned for using the inappropriate words now, using the specific words in an inappropriate fashion now either. I don't know. I just don't want to see folks banned and then have their voice silenced because of this stupid rule, when, I mean, there's at least a possibility that we can get it changed, more nuance. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm hoping the petition gets some visibility and that Twitch actually takes it seriously, because there's enough comments on that thing now, like enough nuanced opinion. There's enough feedback that you think Twitch would go, okay, this is something we have to actually pay attention to. But then on that, I'm sure there's tons of suggestions on that site where, that folks that are serious issues that Twitch just doesn't. I mean, they can just ignore the suggestions out there. There's nothing forcing them to actually do anything. It's just a hope, right? Yeah, exactly, Stygian. Exactly. Which is just so fucking gross, right? That it's like, oh, well, I mean, I guess if we could make more money off them, then we'd probably feature them more. But, it's just really hard to sell, like, fucking, what are we doing? It's just that there was a time when, places would just put forth people whose voices should be raised, period, because those voices should be raised. And now it's like, oh, well, do they bring in enough dollars? Like, fuck. Anyway, I gotta pee real quick, so let's do a quick knowledge fight theme video here. DJ Danarchy. One sec if I can cue this up. I'm still learning, bear with me. Whoop. Wait, what? I went to...
Like in Dune, which is, a great writer, but Dune is really heavy and lets you into the mindset of the globalists, but also what's really going on. It's that Paul Atreides, once he accesses his full male line's genetic memory, which we all have but can't access, he then sees all the future paths. But then he also understands his decisions and others make determinations on that path. So imagine having all that knowledge and being able to see the future paths, but understanding that it's foggy because you don't know what free will is going to do. Knowledge fight. Paul Atreides in that archetype's not a god, but he's beginning to be able to at least see some of what God sees. He can't interpret it all, but he's now been given godlike vision. And so there's many antichrists. There's one final antichrist, the Bible tells us, and the antichrist is always trying to put his signal out. Knowledge fight. But we have to understand that it could be 500 years or next year. It could be 10 million years or it could be next week. We are determining through this the future. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
I've read it like 8 times.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Let's go to Harry. Go ahead and unmute yourself and say what you have to say.
I really love what you just said.
And Jordan, knowledgefight.com. Knowledge fight.
I have great respect for knowledge fight.
Knowledge fight.
Dan and Jordan.
I need money. Stop it. Andy, stop praying. Stop it. I just want to have fun with it, but you didn't think Doom was good?
No. I walked out of the theater halfway through. I think if you're a fan of Dune, you were excited to watch this amazing cinematography. But I was too confused because it was just like...
It's time to pray. Knowledge fight. And Jordan.
I have great respect for knowledge fight.
Knowledge fight. I'm sick of them posing as if they're the good guys, saying we are the bad guys. Knowledge fight.
Dan and Jordan. Knowledge fight.
Need
I like
money.
the insert
Andy
wiggle.
and Andy
So
and
cute. Look at the wiggle.
Stop it. I'm sweating. Andy, just stop pray. Andy in Kansas, you're on the air. Thanks for holding.
Hello, Alex. I'm a first-time caller. I'm a huge fan. I love your work.
Knowledge fight.
Knowledgefight.com. I love you. I love you. I love you.
Aha. I'm back. Hello. That was one of the I don't know, the theme to Knowledge Fight. Knowledge Fight is the Alex Jones debunking podcast, which I highly recommend, especially now that Alex Jones is like probably, maybe, hopefully gonna be quiet for a little bit. There's just so much to digest about all that lore, and maybe there won't be that much. Maybe you have a bit of a lull period where you can actually catch up, where they won't have. It's like there's going to be filler episodes essentially. Like if you're watching an anime, I don't watch anime, but I've heard this is how you watch certain animes. Is there's like you can skip the whole entire sections. So I feel like that's there's probably a section like an Alex Jones filler episode period right now where because he's just kind of like figuring shit out, and so you might have a period where you can like catch up. But I don't know. I'm just thoughts maybe. That was that was good stuff. So thank you. Okay, moving on. See if this works. Moving on. Okay, so the next thing is for I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why I started with that. I was gonna say but then I didn't go with the and I was like Anyway, just gonna edit that whole part there out, for season 2 of Neutral Good, I am basically digging into 6 Days in Fallujah, which is a video game. It's a shooter. It's very Call of Duty like in some ways. I don't know if you played Insurgency. It's very much like Insurgency. But it's more campaign story driven. It's supposed to be darker, edgier, more about like, this is these people almost die. Look at the tactics that the insurgents used and all this stuff. But it's pretty controversial because it's very American exceptionalism. It's very one-sided. Doesn't go into it doesn't really portray the other side very well. It doesn't let you play as an insurgent whatsoever. The other storyline that you can play aside from just being a soldier is an Iraqi father who's trying to make his way out, get his family out of the zone. But it's assumed by being able to play that Iraqi father that you're aligned with the coalition forces and that you're non-hostile to them because they don't let you play as the insurgent campaign. There's no insurgent campaign. There's no ability to play as the other side. And we'll get into that. But I think there's definitely a lot to work with there because the game itself opens a lot of doors to talk about American exceptionalism when it comes to, the Middle East, and just like interfering in wars in general. Blowback podcast is very good about touching on that. And having listened to Blowback, at least season 1 so far, re-listened to it. And just there's certain episodes you were like, you just have to go back and re-listen. But it touches on Fallujah. It touches on obviously the Iraq War. It goes into the Iraq War, but the stuff about Fallujah and the timeline and everything, like Blowback gives you that context, which I found super fascinating. If I hadn't listened to Blowback and then I had gone into this, I wouldn't have recognized some of this stuff that was very glaring right off the bat. That was like, what the fuck? Like, you're just going to tell it like this straight up. All right. That was debunked, but all right. I think listening to Blowback podcast is very helpful, very useful. And it's just also very entertaining. Like they're so knowledgeable, and there's certain episodes that are like really funny. So it's just very well done. But you learn about some of the main characters. You learn about the main bad guy in 6 Days in Fallujah, Al-Zarqawi. And in Fallujah, he's presented as this like, this big baddie, this Al-Qaeda baddie. They don't talk, at least in so far. We'll have to double check, but at least so far they don't talk about, they don't lie about the connection to Saddam. He apparently, there is that connection to Al-Qaeda, which I don't know how actual loosely he was connected to Al-Qaeda, but that is used as the excuse to go into Fallujah and go after him in the first place, is that he's this like conduit between Saddam and Al-Qaeda, which then links Saddam with Al-Qaeda, which means that's why the US can be there in the first place. Voila, now you have the Iraqi coalition forces in Fallujah, right? Holiday, welcome in. So the game doesn't do a very good job of like talking about any of the sort of the realistic, reasons why the US was there in the first place, any of that stuff. It just basically gives you like a fun Call of Duty style, romp, which is with a bit more scary stuff, and like, oh, it's supposed to feel more real because it's like a real thing that happened. Like, all right. So we'll watch the trailer, if I can cue it up here, and then we'll go into some of the stuff that I saw about it. There's like an AMA. We can talk about it a bit. Hold on. Cue it. Ooh. Do this. And this. And this. Oh. Work. Hey, there we go. All right.
My name is Jason Kyle. I was a sergeant with Lima Company, 3rd Battalion, 1st Marines. On November 9th, 2004, I entered the city with 12 Marines plus myself. And by November 13th, I was down to 4 Marines and myself.
So this is like... The game opens with this kind of dialogue. It's just interviews with Marines who talk about what they did there and how horrible it was to have to be there. Again, with like no touching upon not having to be there,
6 Days in Fallujah recreates stories from the battle based on eyewitness accounts.
One squad has already walked down this alley, so we're just like walking down pretty confidently. And like these guys just open up.
There's one in the alley! There! I got you. Alley looks clear. Go right, on it. Watch out! Suppressing fire!
That was the go command. One tap issues orders to your team based on what you're pointing at.
Okay, so having played the game a little bit, it's very much like Insurgency in the sense that like there's that realism factor where you have to actually do things a little bit, like you have to actually do extra actions. So instead of just being able to right click and and scope in on your like ADS, they call it, right, aim down sights, or look through your reticle, you have to like right click brings up your gun, and then you have to, I think it's like scroll. It's either scroll or click on the wheel. I think it's scroll up. Yeah, I think it's scroll up on the wheel will bring up the reticle. So there's these extra like realism factors. That's why you'll see some of the actions feel like, because the character has to do these extra things, right?
Pin enemies in place with suppressive fire while you flank.
Pretty realistic. Right? Pretty realistic. Lots of realism factor, right? Looks pretty, it's very pretty, right? Also very Call of Duty. It's like, it's well, okay. So here's the thing. It's like there's certain aspects that feel Call of Duty, even though the interface is very like sparse and it's supposed to feel like a movie. There's certain aspects that, because of the speed at which they happen and the fact that, like, even though you fuck up the situation entirely, you're still able to gun down the enemy. That's the part that to me spoke of Call of Duty. But I mean, the rest of it is very insurgency and more like immersive shooters.
Hold your fire!
Order your team to stack on a door.
Breach it! Open the door! On it!
The go command.
Okay, I will say, the ability to tell your guys where to go is actually kind of a fun feature. Like it is pretty cool to be able to like point at a building and tell them to watch it, and you can tell them to watch like a window or like a balcony, and they will cover that building from wherever you guys currently are, as so like you can run up to it, and if anybody comes out of the the upper stairwells or something to try and shoot you, they'll just get gunned down by your guys. So those things are cool. These gameplay mechanics are cool, I must say.
Man, makes it as easy to direct your team as it is to fire your weapon.
Go, go, go!
I can't see anybody in there.
The person who goes in first is never wrong. They have the most to fear.
And as soon as I walk in,
the person who goes in first is never wrong. Just gonna always go in first, I guess.
I see a machine gun right in front of my face, maybe 10 feet, 15 feet from me.
Every time we would go into one of those buildings, you never know what to expect.
You don't know the layout of the house until you get in there.
See?
And then you still don't know it until you go all...
So, like, okay, we're sensing a theme, right? The only thing you're hearing about is how crazy and wild it is that they, like these scenarios that they're in, these buildings that they're in, the enemy they're facing. Like, oh, it's just so technically challenging is the theme, right?
The way through it.
Room clearing, house clearing, it's different every single time.
Marines and soldiers never knew what was waiting for them behind
this
the
is
next
gameplay.
door.
Just so we're clear, this is gameplay. This is not real. Don't come after me. This is gameplay.
If you want a realistic experience, neither can you. 6 Days in Fallujah reshapes the battlefield every time you play. Each room, each building, even the entire neighborhood is generated procedurally. Every map is a new map. So just like actual combat, you'll never know what to expect.
Bear with me. So this is a big one that I wanted. This is a big reason I wanted to cover this game. The fact that it features the procedurally generated map and casually basically touts that as like a feature. Yeah, the fact that it's like it's a war generator is what goes into my head. You're like it's a close conflict generator. It's not even like because it's based on this like true battle, but the gameplay allows, because of this procedurally generated thing, the enemies, their homes are just procedurally generated corridors to stop you from easily mowing down the bad guys with your gun. It makes challenge their fucking lives. Their homes are just walls that just make it so that next time you turn a corner, you gotta like shoot an extra guy. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Yeah, I mean, trust me, Sakai. I have thoughts on Ready or Not as well. Like, Jesus Christ.
You hear that?
So actually, here, yeah, just to cover this, what we're seeing, right? What we're seeing, I guess if this is one of the procedures, this is so like I wouldn't, if I ran this, I wouldn't be in the same building. It wouldn't be I mean, maybe if you ran it a million times, might get the same layout. But like my experience would differ from your experience playing this. But that doesn't teach you about this battle. That just makes fun. It's not even the word. It's not even fun. What it does is it makes it like interesting, but in that sort of like, all it does is generate new content for your brain. So it's new to your brain and therefore it's interesting, but it doesn't make it good, right? And it reduces the conflict to this thing where you just press a button and you're like, oh, I'm in a fight. It's totally different. It doesn't matter that this is based on an actual fight that happened where like the layout, these people's homes were in a certain place and now they're blown up because of what happened there. They don't exist anymore, right? Jesus.
What's that door? Yep. You covered. Contact! We got contact! Get my back! Go, 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 go!
All right. So here's one of the my cons. Besides the political cons, the gameplay cons is like the AI, at least in my experience and in this gameplay video so far too, the AI was really lacking in how they presented. It was like they would just stand there and shoot you. They would just run around and like shoot you from various angles, but like not in ways that were super challenging. It was pretty easy to just mow them down when needed. I don't know. Like, I don't know if Insurgency, I can't remember if Insurgency felt any better in that regard. I still felt like Insurgency was really more about the numbers and the fact that, same as in this one, getting shot a certain number of times is a little bit more, detrimental. Like it's more realistic than like say COD in that sense where like, you can't tank too many shots, but the AI just didn't feel challenging in the few hours that I put into it so far.
My son, he had his first birthday while we were in Fallujah. I wanted to take a picture. So I wrote "Happy Birthday, JJ" on a piece of cardboard and I held it up.
Oh, look, he's human. This guy the juxtaposition of the game. So here, hold on. Let's go back. All right. What are we doing in the game? We're shooting people. We're shooting people ideally in their heads, because then you don't have to shoot them multiple times, right? Usually if you shoot them once, they'll stay down in right. So you're shooting people, we're shooting them, and then happy birthday, Jason Jr. Love, Daddy. I just got done shooting people. I'm still alive. Happy birthday, son.
Cardboard and I held it up. That was the most difficult day I had there. It dawned on me, it's like, I can't die on my kid's birthday. And that's all I thought about all day long.
How many people died on your kid's birthday besides you? Like, that's the wild part to me. It's like, I can't die on my kid's birthday, so I have to murder as many fucking people as I possibly can. Like, wow, what are we doing?
Go here. You clear? On me.
Let's do this.
I got this one.
Now, I get it. War. I say it's murder. Again, war means things are sketchy when it comes to describing all that kind of shit. But like this game and the premise for them being in Fallujah in the first place, it's not good. And being in Iraq in the first place, built on lies, not good. So this is not a war that was like a sanctioned, like a war built on actual, there was no need to be there. Therefore, this is just the US flexing their ability to do this. And that's why I say that this is what it is. These people, were basically just killed for trying to resist the US flexing their power.
Room's clear.
And then they were turned into a video game again.
Good here. Come with me. Good. Keep a lookout. Right. What's that?
Oh no. Oh no. The scary basement. Like no other games don't have this basement.
On our left. Who's there? Step out. Salim.
Oh my god, a hostage. Maybe?
So just think, you have this Marine, you're amped up, you got all this adrenaline going through, you kick that door down and it's like family of 4. And I'm talking to the dad, I'm like, dude, like, why are you still here? And he's like,
عن طريق التلفزيون طلع بقت هذا اياد علاوي كان رئيس.
All right. Right. Okay. So again, this state, by the time that this fight is happening, that Fallujah is happening, Iraq has already been basically destroyed, pillaged, burned, deposed. Saddam is either in custody or dead. I can't remember. I think he's just in custody at this point. So the prime minister is very much under the U.S. boot, under the U.S. thumb. So like but none of this is presented this way. It's just like, oh well, if the Iraqi prime minister is saying it, then obviously, and somebody is saying it in Arabic, then obviously it must be like, what are we doing?
رئيس الوزراء قال ابو مصعب الزرقاوي.
Oh, there's Zarqawi. Okay. We got Zarqawi mentioned.
فلذلك الفلوجة نقدر نقول من بداية العمليات طلعوا.
وعائلتي وعائلة ابويا الله يرحمه طلعت. فابويا بقى راد يبقى قال ما اطلع.
تعرف اهل الفلوجة القدماء يعني هاي بالنسبة لهم عار بانه يطلع محتل.
It is shameful to leave their homes. This is how this is how old Fallujans think that it is shameful to leave their homes to be occupied. This is how I think. I don't want my home to be occupied. Hello? Like what? Why is it being framed this way? This is so weird.
ما اطلع هذا ابقى. قال اموت هنا يابا اطلع قال ما قلت له لا عاد اني وين.
And then that's it. So it's pretty bad that the trailer just kind of ends like that. Like here's this Iraqi side of the story. And then the trailer pans out like, oh, you should play the game. Like, what the fuck? This is a real thing that happened. And like you're acting like it was, oh my god. Anyway, so I found some videos, and so we'll see. I have no idea if this content is actually worth watching or not. We can watch a couple different videos about it from other people, and then I just want to go over the AMA briefly that they did. So we'll see here. If I get rid of this one, maybe queue up this one. Nope, that's not it. Wrong one.
I hate the tactical FPS genre is one that prides itself on realism. Realistic
First of all,
graphics.
I don't know this creator at all, so I don't want to endorse this person at all. I'm just letting you know right now. We're just watching videos about 6 Days in Fallujah.
Mechanics, tone, and story. Everything about this genre is about conveying what it's like to actually be in these scenarios. That any misstep, wrong turn, or lapse in judgment could result in your swift and oftentimes unceremonious demise. Realism is the ultimate goal. Yet, what many may forget is that the closer to reality you come, the more scrutiny you open yourself up to. One such game that faced rather crazed mass scrutiny is Atomic Games' Lost Tactical Shooter.
And there's no guarantee you get to live anyway, right? Like, that's the crazy part. Like, okay, actually, before we... Well, maybe it'll get to it.
In November of 2004,
But something that this game does on purpose, because they talk about it in the interviews, is you'll have people spectating, this is how it actually played out. Just because of the close quarters combat. If you listen to any of the actual stuff about it, or you're watching the videos about it, there's people that were spectating the fights from their balconies. People would be on their balconies or their rooftops, standing around, not armed, obviously, just watching the coalition soldiers clear houses and engage in battles where any stray gunfire could like kill somebody who's just standing on their rooftop. But what else are you doing? Because your house might be next anyway, right? So folks are just in the game. You're clearing houses or clearing houses for, based on your mission, and there's people that are just standing around on the rooftops watching you shoot other people in real time, and like you have to make sure not to shoot them because they could, you could just accidentally clip some civilian. It's just, that part to me is just, and that's actually how it was. It's just wild.
In the Iraq War began a highly controversial conflict known as the Second Battle of Fallujah. This battle was a 6-week-long offensive comprised of a coalition of the United States, the Iraq Interim Government, and the United Kingdom. This conflict would later be described as the heaviest urban combat U.S. military have been involved in since the Battle of Hue City in Vietnam in 1968. The whole battle basically consisted of coalition forces clearing houses across the city. The Second Battle of Fallujah resulted in a total of 107 coalition forces being killed, 613 wounded, and a rough estimate of over 2,000 Iraqi insurgents being killed and 1,500 being captured. It was reported that, in the aftermath, over 5,000 high-explosive artillery rounds were fired, with over 320 precision bombs, 390 rockets, and over 90,000 machine gun and cannon rounds being fired. The city of Fallujah was decimated. Fallujah, once known as the City of Mosques, had
decimated
over 200 mosques prior to the conflict. However, during the conflict, many of these
this is the part that breaks my heart is what you usually saw on TV around the Iraq wartime. What you saw this as well, even now, whatever you see, is these mostly and in video games, it's these mostly destroyed places where there's like rubble and craters and what used to be a building, and these are to the locals, these places have been sacred flourishing cities that are just targeted because there was some, like in this case, there was some bad guy that the US labeled a bad guy that happened to live there, or at least be stationed there, have his headquarters there. And so they decimate an entire city to go after him. And then they make a video game about it. But like what you see on TV or elsewhere is just like desert and rubble. And in your mind, that's what these video game levels are made up of. They're made up of broken structures and like things that you can use as cover, and maybe the bad guys are going to be up on that broken balcony of whatever that thing is. That thing was an opera house that people used to go watch fucking operas at, and now they can't because it was blown the fuck up. Like that's a thing.
Mosques were used as strongholds and weapon cache sites by the insurgents. During the conflict, 60 mosques were destroyed, and of the roughly 50,000 buildings in Fallujah, nearly 10,000 were believed to be destroyed, with half the remaining buildings suffering extensive damages. As the dust settled on the
city of mosques becomes the city of no mosques because they just level them, because they're just buildings that are in their way, because they might have bad guys in them.
Those back home in the States began to highly criticize this operation. For starters, during the battle, white phosphorus was used to combat the insurgents. In case you didn't know, white phosphorus can, quote, create a
That's right, you got to do it by the books. You got to call your puppet states.
The US would deny its use of this highly controversial weapon until multiple unnamed soldiers present during the conflict were quoted as saying, "We used it for screening missions at 2 breaches and later in the fight as a potential psychological weapon against the insurgents in trench lines and spider holes where we could not get effect on them with high explosives. We fired shake and bake missions at the insurgents using white phosphorus to flush them out and high explosives to take them out."
So let's just be clear. They admit to using white phosphorus. White phosphorus is disgusting. It creates horrific wounds, mutilates people in ways that they just shouldn't have to deal with. And yeah, gross. The fact that just casually, well, we just the bad guys are hard to get with these things. We just use these because it's the easier. Sorry, it's just easier.
Other controversies surrounding this conflict consisted of the prevention of military-age males from fleeing Fallujah, extremely high amounts of civilian casualties, and the usage of depleted uranium shells, which resulted in an increase in infant mortality, cancer, and birth.
Oh my god. Depleted uranium too? That's fine. We'll just make it unlivable, for future generations. Radiation, no big deal. We just hate this group so much. We want them and everybody after them to be so fucked that they cannot do anything anymore, period. Like, not only do we want to clear this guy out, we want to clear him out and make sure, set a precedent that nobody should have fucked with us in the beginning. That's all this is. This is just throwing their weight around again.
Defects among those born in Fallujah. To say this conflict was controversial would be an understatement. The Second Battle of Fallujah was highly complex and highly dangerous, with really no one winning in the end. However, in the years to come, the controversy of this conflict would once again rear its head as it shifted to a new medium. In the early 2000s, video game studio Atomic Games was tasked with developing a military simulation program for the US Marine Corps with assistance from actual Marines serving as technical advisors. However, as the Iraq War began, most of their advisors were deployed in Iraq and participated in the Second Battle of Fallujah. Returning from this conflict, those same advisors suggested Atomic Games make their game based on said conflict. Atomic Games president Peter Tampt stated, when they came back from Fallujah, they
this is okay. This is the guy. This is the guy who did the AMA. That was good. We can get to this after. This is good.
Game about their experiences there, and it seemed like the right thing to do. From the beginning, the goal of this game would be to simulate the conflict in the most realistic way possible. This game was to be the most realistic military shooter on the market. Tampt would also state, ultimately, all of us were curious about what it would really be like to be at war. I've been playing military shooters for ages, and at a certain point when I'm playing the game, I know it's fake. You can tell a bunch of guys sat in a room and designed it. That's always bothered me. He would continue by saying, there are things that you can do in a video game that you cannot do in other forms of media. And a lot of that has to do with presenting players. Around 2005, Atomic Games interviewed US Marines, Iraqi civilians, Iraqi insurgents, war historians, and senior military officials in order to truly uncover the complexities of the battle. Director Juan Benito would state, many of the insurgents had no intention of leaving the city alive, so their entire mission might be to lie in wait, with a gun trained at a doorway, for days just waiting for a Marine to pop his head in. In most modern military shooters, the tendency is to turn the volume up to 11 and keep it there. Our game turns it up to 12 at times, but we dial it back down too, so we can establish a cadence. In terms of gameplay, 6 Days in Fallujah would be a third-person tactical shooter, with producer James Caldwell stating, the example we used quite a bit was, you're a squad leader, and you're clearing the left side of the street down Fallujah. You have 3 options. You can turn around and clear that house, kick down the door, and do what you need to. The second option is to leave it for the squad behind you to clear, so that they can take the risk. The third option is to call in an airstrike. Of those 3 bad options, which do you choose? It was also stated that
Well, okay. As somebody who plays shooter video games, I'm obviously going to choose the airstrike because it is the most efficient. So if you give me an airstrike, I'm going to use an airstrike. I don't know what you're expecting.
Days in Fallujah would feature destructible environments that would surpass the Battlefield series, a feat that was only achievable after the studio developed an entirely new game engine to accomplish this goal. Using satellite imagery, 6 Days in Fallujah would also feature a meticulously recreated version of the actual city of Fallujah, as well as real Marines lending their names and likenesses in order to recreate specific events during the battle. In fact, after every mission, real footage of interviews with the vets who served during this conflict would play, with the hopes of giving the player a better understanding of the conflict as a whole. Almost immediately after its announcement, controversy began to arise. Critics from veterans to civilians to anti-war foundations were very vocal about the game being too close to the real conflict. For reference, 6 Days in Fallujah was slated to be released in 2010, just 6 years after the actual conflict. These critics also stated that the game lacked the ability to respectfully handle the subject matter, and that, because it's a video game, it lacked the ability to detail important context and would trivialize the real event. Peter Tampt would respond to the criticism by stating, "As we've watched the dialogue that's taken place about the game, there's definitely one point that we want people to understand about the game, and that is, it is not about the politics of whether the US should have been there or not. It's really about the stories of the Marines who are in Fallujah. We are focused now on what actually happened on the ground." James Cowgill would state, "Everybody had some form of Call of Duty in their head of just a run-and-gun shooter, nothing but fun. The storytelling and documentary aspects were completely lost in the messaging." And Juan Benito stated, "It felt like a siege. We knew what was happening in the studio. We knew the validity of the content we were making and the vision around it. I was convinced, and I think the team was as well. We weren't able to articulate that to the outside world in a way that we wanted to. It all felt like a big, unjust misunderstanding." Regardless, only 3 weeks after agreeing to publish 6 Days in Fallujah, Konami would pull out of their contract with Atomic Games with no explanation as to why. It was only later revealed it was due to the pressure being placed on them by the public outcry and the fear of publishing a controversial game. After being unable to land another publisher, a wave of layoffs struck Atomic Games, and by 2011, Atomic Games filed for bankruptcy and the studio shut down. Despite this, Peter Tampt was still adamant that the game would be released as planned, and this was merely a setback. However,
the game's in early access on Steam, so obviously things worked out, right?
Time moved on, everyone seemed to forget about this once highly controversial game, and it faded into obscurity. Until it didn't. Despite going radio silent for almost 2 decades, 6 Days in Fallujah received a second chance. In 2021, Peter Tampt's company Victura announced it would revive 6 Days in Fallujah and would work alongside Highwire Games to do so. This new team consisted of many veterans from the industry, many of whom previously worked on the original Halo and Destiny games. This new version of 6 Days in Fallujah essentially took every concept they were working with initially and made it all the better. Changing drastically, this new and improved 6 Days in Fallujah was changed into a first-person tactical military shooter, and to accurately simulate the uncertainty and danger of urban combat, the studio developed procedural architecture technology that would randomly assemble the buildings and city blocks each time the game.
Again, randomly assembling people's homes, people's actual homes, they're just walls now. They're just walls that are in your way while you try and shoot bad guys now.
It was played, creating that true, non-traditional survival horror game they wanted to make in the very beginning. Again, realism was emphasized more than ever as the team once again interviewed those who participated in the battle, which included over 100 soldiers and Iraqi civilians, each sharing their stories so that the team could make an accurate recreation of the conflict. And, just like it was originally conceived, 6 Days in Fallujah.
All right, good night, Sakai. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate you, as always.
It would feature documentary segments that discuss the events as well as the political decisions that led to the battle as well as the aftermath. While the controversy surrounding this game was not as severe as it was before, comments about its American-centric focus led to some forms of criticism. However, it was announced that over time, the team plans to add multiple perspectives from other coalition forces and Iraqi civilians. The team also stated in a newsletter that despite committing to realism, we do not allow players to use white phosphorus as a weapon during gameplay. Its use is described during the documentary.
Even though it actually was used during the conflict, we won't let you use it in the game because that's bad. So we recognize that it's bad, but you know, that's as far as they go. Like the only there's no further talk about it in the game. It's just that you can't use it in the game. Because if they talked about why you can't use it,
segments,
then they'd have to go into like why the US shouldn't have been there in the first place. And like what else was going on. Ugh.
Their end goal with 6 Days in Fallujah was to allow players to participate in these war stories while being given context through documentary snippets. The team wants the player to, quote, solve real military and civilian scenarios from the battle interactively, offering a perspective into urban warfare not possible through any other media. Finally, after being in development hell since the early 2000s, in June of 2023, 6 Days in Fallujah released through Steam's Early Access program. While the game is slated for a full release in 2024, at the time of this video, it is currently still in Early Access. However, the reviews have been extremely positive, with many praising the game for its realism, horror aspects, and dedication to immersion. A game once riddled with controversy has seemingly done the impossible. Being developed during a time when games faced mass scrutiny, 6 Days in Fallujah persevered. Through hard work and the drive to see a vision come true, 6 Days in Fallujah finally delivered on its promise. They created one of the most realistic milsim experiences on the market. While the game is still in development, the future looks incredibly bright for this title.
What the hell, man? I had this, okay. This is the problem. This is just content brain, man. This person's like, look at all this shit this game does and doesn't talk about. And it was one of the most controversial, conflicts, blah, blah, blah. But now it looks like they've overcome controversy and this game's doing really well. Like, it's still, you don't have to say things like that to end your video. You can have a video that ends with like, maybe we should talk about this thing instead of, oh, look, everything's fine, la la la. It's like, oh my god, it's just so tiring. All right. So in the meantime, I'm gonna bring up we'll listen to Bushes of Love. And then we'll switch over to the MA. We can talk about that. Actually, also I'm gonna bring up maybe like the Steam page for it, 6 Days in Fallujah, so we can like look at the reviews, because the reviews are kind of annoying. Let's see if this works. All right, bear with me, chat. I'm clicking. Okay, here we go.
Hey, how'd my father die? 49 times. We fought that beast, your old man and me. And had a chicken head with duck feet, with a woman's face too. Oh, that's rad. And it was waiting in the bushes for us. Then it ripped off your dad's face. He was screaming something awful. In fact, there was this huge mess and I had to change the floors. The floors? You see his blood, it drained into the boards and I had to change them. But we all got a chicken duck woman thing waiting for us. Every day I worry all day about what's waiting in the bushes of love. 'Cause something's waiting in the bushes for us. Something's waiting in the bushes of love. Yeah, every day I worry all day about what's waiting in the bushes of love. Something's waiting in the bushes for us. Something's waiting in the bushes of love. Yo, never knew my dad, he didn't care about me. Dead horizon is all my macro binoculars see. Moisture farming all my life and not a drop spilled. My aunt and uncle double sons and sipping blue milk. My aunt and uncle double sons, I'm sick of blue milk. But then a desert hobo came and told me we all got a chicken duck woman thing waiting for us. Every day I worry all day about what's waiting in the bushes of love. Something's waiting in the bushes for us. Yeah, something's waiting in the bushes of love. Yeah, every day I worry all day about what's waiting in the bushes of love. Something's waiting in the bushes for us. Something's waiting in the bushes of love. Hold me when I open like a flower. Hold me right. Yeah, I ain't had to bake for a girl in a long time. A long time. I think my cooking's awesome. I've got her picture in my photo wagon. I keep it poppin'. Yeah, she'd probably love to honky tonk.
Probably love to honky tonk.
That's what I said. Waiting for us. I used to ride across the desert, you know. I used to glide on my speeder, faith that I don't find, but I don't wanna find. Waiting for me around the corner, oh no no. Waiting for us. I used to ride across the desert, you know. I used to glide on my speeder, faith that I don't find anymore. Crispy bodies by the door. 49 times, yeah, it was 49 times, and now it might be waiting for you. Could be hiding behind that scrap pile. It's just a big cow. I know you really want someone to hold you, but we all got a chicken duck woman thing waiting for us. Yeah, every day I worry all day about what's waiting in the bushes of love. Something's waiting in the bushes for us. Yeah, something's waiting in the bushes of love. Yeah, every day I worry all day about what's waiting in the bushes of love. Something's waiting in the bushes for us. Yeah, something's waiting in the bushes of love. Yeah, every day I worry all day about what's waiting in the bushes of love. Something's waiting in the bushes for us. Yeah, something's waiting in the bushes of love. Every day I worry all day about what's waiting in the bushes of love. Something's waiting in the bushes for us. Huh? I had a dream. This cute girl kept kissing me over and over. Oh, yeah, well, there's something I gotta tell you about her. Just remind me later.
It's
I used to ride across the desert, you know. I used to glide on my speeder, pray that I don't find what I don't wanna find. Waiting for me around the corner, oh no, no.
You remember when those were like actually popular, the bad lip readings? Has it been almost 10 years? I think it's been almost 10 years since they were actually popular. I think it's like 2016 era is when they were popular. 2016, 2017. I loved those things, and it's like a bygone era, I guess. Now I'm old. God damn it. All right. So Aqua apparently played the game, and I wouldn't mind watching Aqua play a little bit. Let me see if I can get him into actually part where he's been playing. I don't know if he talks. Does he talk about it? No. Okay, hold on. Let's get him into the actual game. All right. I'll queue up Aqua here. We'll watch some Aqua, and then we'll get into the MA. It's long. He's got like 30 minutes. So we'll skip through it a bit, and then we'll get to the MA, where Peter Tamte answers questions about the game, but definitely does not talk about the controversy whatsoever, because yikes. Whoa, don't want to touch that. All right, so do one of these. Okay, so this is Aqua. I don't know if you know. Let me introduce Aqua. He's a variety streamer, plays a lot of Escape from Tarkov and other shooters, has a pretty chill, cozy community, zero politics, so I have no idea where he stands. I'm not a part of his Discord, so I don't delve into that. I have no idea where he stands. But his community is pretty chill, that I've seen. So
This getting shot mechanic is pretty neat.
Where it's like you're all messed up until you take cover to check for wounds.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I forgot about that. That is. So again, there are some good gameplay mechanics from this that I like, and I would like to see them in other games. One is that you don't actually like recuperate from being shot until you basically get behind a wall, and then you have to like, there's obviously some sort of timer behind the scenes that counts down because it takes a few seconds, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, patting yourself or like checking yourself, and you're good again. Like that's a kind of cool thing.
Freaking out or whatever. Pretty neat. Come on me. Oh, hello. Oh,
Keep it
okay.
my freaking head.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Yeah. So he has to get behind a wall, right?
Oh.
No, doesn't get behind a wall. Ah, too bad.
That's what we do. Uh-oh. Someone better shoot that guy. All right, we'll try that one more time. No big deal. All right, let me watch this back, because honestly, my commands can be misinterpreted sometimes in the heat of battle. Come on me.
That's okay. So I will admit that when you're in the midst of battle, there are times when you might hit the wrong button and send your guys off to go around a corner or something, or instead of following you, they stand in front of a building and you go inside the building and you get shot. Like stuff like that. I mean, yes, those are all excusable. That happens. I do that.
Come on me. All right, let's get this. Tactical shit. You guys just don't understand. Oh shoot! Where you going with that RPG, bozo? Forget it. Forget about it.
You're just bad guys.
All set.
They're just bad guys. They're just bad guys.
The car
bad guys in another setting.
Didn't get blown up this time. The AAV, armored ass vehicle.
Notice how when he brings his gun up that way, if we go back. So notice when he's doing this, he's just right clicked and he's got the gun up, but he's not aiming down sights. So it's just doing the thing where like the reticle's just kind of around that person. Stuff like that for a realistic shooter is pretty cool. I do like that.
Use your noob tube? On whom? Who just jumped through that fucking window? Oh shit! Ah, nade out!
Throwing grenades at bad guys.
How do I noob tube? I want to do it. Oh, we got like a sandstorm going this time.
A rude sandstorm?
Oh shoot! Oh! No! Uh-oh. Come on me! I need backup! Oh shit, I said it again. Yes, sir, Commander. Guys, stop.
Collaborate and listen.
Oh.
ICE is back with a brand new edition.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a bad guy. That's a bad guy right there, yep. See? Bad guys all around. It's bad guys thrown in front of you. And look!
No.
Look, this stairway, not even real. Just procedurally generated stairwell. This stairwell is like, you don't even know. This stairwell could have been brought to you by, I don't know, it could have been made by anybody. But it's definitely not somebody's home. It's just a random stairwell that was added here so that you have to go upstairs now. That's all. Definitely not a person's actual domicile. I promise you. There's you don't have to think about it. Don't worry.
I mean, yes. Got fucking weapons and shit in here. Got it. Oh shoot.
Copy that. We got additional reinforcements coming to you.
This is crazy.
So this is it though, right? Like the enemy, the AI just runs around. Like they don't like there's nothing, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what else I expect them to do, but they're not doing anything creative. They're not, it's not difficult. You just have to not get shot. So you just stand up, headshot, again, bad guys with balaclavas on that you don't have to think about beyond that, apparently. That's all. Don't think too hard.
Ow. I got shot again. Hey man, people do weird shit in the heat of the moment. No judgment. I'm just being the commander. Ooh. Ooh, hello. Where do they keep coming from? These guys are... Don't stop coming. All right, we have to stop. I can't even speak anymore. Oh, he threw a bottle. Ah! Okay. I think we cleared out the entire city. Thanks to my...
A simple comment like that, when you think about the context of this game and the video that we watched with the Marines talking about how it was and how actual people have been through this, and him just joking, oh, I think we cleaned out the entire city. Like, it's just like, I get it, it's a game, and I mean, haha, I mean, I would probably say something similar, but the context just makes it so inhumane and just so awful. It's just so awful.
Incredible commanding and aim and gameplay. Did they blow up the car again? Shit. I think it's oh I think it's unavoidable. A little help, please. He shot me in my already shot leg.
Yeah, that's my good leg or bad leg. That's my bad leg. Don't shoot my bad
leg. Rip the scab off. That's even worse.
Ugh.
All right, where are we supposed to go? Any single fire enjoyers in games here? Because everyone's like always spraying like they're playing Apex Legends or some shit. What am I supposed to do? Locate Insurgent Armory. Oh wait, I was in a building and they're like, there's all these weapons and shit in here before.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. The hokiest part of this game so far, above all else that I've seen, is you have to collect these like weapon caches from, I don't know, from the floor, from a bed, from a cabinet, whatever. And they just look like an AK-47 and some ammo next to it usually, or like a box of RPG rounds. Like they just look very much like a weapons cache, like the most obvious fucking thing. And they will place them in all sorts of buildings. You just have to find them, be like, oh, look, I've cleared this building of weapons caches. And it's just like, it'll be like, what is, a procedurally generated house or something with weapons caches, because you have to find the weapons caches for the game to progress. So the idea is just like, there's always these weapons caches. It's just like, these are just a given that all of these places would have weapons caches. So like, again, just separating out the actual reality of there were people involved, there were people not involved. The people involved had their reasons for fighting back. But in this game, the weapons caches are just like an objective that is randomly placed in these buildings so that you have to like clear and explore the building and like get rid of them. And it doesn't matter where they are. There's no separation between this place or this place. It's just, it generated this many places, this many shapes, and it generated this many weapons caches to fill them in. There's no thought about the fact that people had weapons caches because they were in opposition, to what was going on, that specific house, was a headquarters. Like none of that is, there's no nuance, there's none of that considered. It's all washed away because this is a video game that procedurally generates the close combat. It's all just so dystopian, right? Like holy crap.
Which building was that? I think it was in here. There's Harry Potter. Where? 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 That's a weapon cache? Oh, here they are.
Over there.
Oh man, they just look like part of the environment. That's crazy. I guess that wasn't the weapon armory thing. Ooh, hello, hello, hi, hi, hello. Oh shit. Oh, I'm down. Again in the same leg? Oh my god! Weapon couch, not cache. Oh, I'm sorry, I misheard. That's not the weapon cache. That's clearly the weapon couch. Here we go. Oh yeah. I'm gonna blow this sucker up. Let's blow it.
Follow me.
Oh! Oh shoot. Mission complete. Okay. Where around? Come this way. The commander. Oh! Oh no! No, no, no! Please, 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 please! Not like this! Oh my god! That was at the end of the mission. I got extract camped. Oh, we're right here. Okay. Oh, I got to continue as one of the other guys. Commander down though. All right, let's go. Locate apartment building and evacuate wounded Marines. Oh, hello. This mission is really hard. Really? This whole game is actually quite difficult. It's definitely not easy. I'm having a latte, an oat milk latte with an extra shot of espresso. Whoa. Sounds good AF. It is quite good. Ah! Ah! Oh. That's not gas station coffee? Yeah, no, not this time. Are you okay? Brother in Christ, there's a sniper. Stop walking in the open. This stupid car doesn't move unless I walk in the open.
And like every objective it gives you is just based on like, oh, I generate, like the map was generated this way, so you have to clear this many buildings. So again, the humanity is entirely removed just for the purpose of making a, you know, a war game and an interesting war game.
Maybe I'm doing this wrong, but it's also sandy. And this, I see why you say this mission's difficult now. Holy. Can't see anything. You see how I commanded my teammate to watch that corner while I was healing? Ooh, okay, okay. All right. Hello? How did he get there? Excuse me? No. Hold on. Little help, little help, little help, please. I literally just crawled to a teammate. Are you not gonna help me?
That's right. Finally. Oh, what?
Thank you.
How is he helping him through the wall? That's not what I wanted to see. I wanted to see him actually. No, come on.
Jeez. Such a Milford man. Yeah, I know. This is me flanking. Is this not the building? I was just... Oh! Oh my.
Anyway, you get the gist of it, right? I mean, hold on. I don't think there's not. I don't think he's going through anything too special. There's just a lot of the same.
Tango down.
Oh yeah. On me, over the wall.
Oh, okay, it's playing with somebody now. There's a little bit of the multiplayer action.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I'm down.
Oh,
Man
no.
down. I'm fine though. I will be.
I'm going in. Fuck it.
So brave. It's me, it's me.
I got this.
All right, backing you up on your 6. Look at him, cutting the pie.
Cutting the pie.
So surgical. You like pie?
All right.
I like pie.
Yeah, what's your favorite pie?
Maybe pumpkin, maybe pecan.
Oh man, those are both my favorite pies. How did he? How does that? Oh, that's. I didn't pre-watch this one, but pumpkin and pecan are actually my favorite pies. So I don't know what's happening here. Weird.
Really? I like an apple pie.
That's.
You don't
all
like
right,
apple pie.
that makes sense because you also
What the
enjoy milk.
fuck?
It's fine.
We're not together. What is that?
Oh, that pie you don't drink milk with? That's an acceptable milk thing.
I don't drink. I put ice cream on it.
Well, yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
where
that's
is the
better.
sniper?
but-
Did we kill the sniper? I don't think we did. I don't see a Dragunov.
Well, we have to like confirm the body or.
Yeah, I think the sniper's like over that way. It's north of the LZ.
Oh yeah,
We're-
shoot, we're in the wrong place. Who
Yeah.
let us over here?
I don't know.
That guy should be demoted. No.
Oh,
that guy just absolutely shit on me.
Fuck!
Where are all of our guys?
Where are they? Are they dead? Oh, they're so far away. Oh, they're
Dead.
saving me. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh fuck. Oh, I'm the team leader. I'm the fire team leader. I've been promoted.
Deserved? What do you mean? There's a guy dying on the ground right in front of you. I'm back. I'm so back. Richard is
help.
wounded again?
I need
Richard.
That's crazy. All right, I'll help you,
Oh,
but
they're
there'll
on me. Oh,
come a
that's you.
time where I'll ask for a favor.
Okay. That's my same leg. My artery's just torn to shreds.
I know, they keep ripping my scabs off as well.
I think we can handle it.
All right, I'll return to lobby. All right.
Holy fuck.
You just jump into another mission.
Lights
Oh,
off.
you
It's
gave
just
me
very
the
typical in
shotgun?
that
Badass.
Like there's nothing special about it in that way. It's just it's a map based shooter. It generates a new map. Jump in with friends, shoot the bad guys, etc. Just happens to be based on a real event. Just happens to remove all the actual humanity of that event. Claims to be like about that, but really just capitalizes on the name. Really. What else do we have?
Get inside. They're in here. I got him.
Oh, there's an IUD here. I'm just.
There's an IED?
IED, not an IUD.
There's an
Whatever.
IED.
Oh, another IUD. IED. I'm going like upstairs in the apartment.
I'm down. Fuck.
Oh my god. Hold
We
on.
almost had it, too.
I'm coming.
Oh, man.
Richard! Don't you fucking die on me!
Where
Oh,
are
I'm
we?
down!
Oh, we're fucked. It's over. We got so close, though.
Oh
we
my
almost
god,
had that.
dude!
We have this.
I'm telling you, this one is impossible. It's the
Bro,
one
we
I.
have this.
It's so hard, but okay.
We almost had this. All right, go.
Oh! Oh!
Oh no.
There's a teammate right here. He refuses to help me though. Okay, he's helping me.
Oh, you're good.
Oh, what is he doing? Is someone
He's
gonna help me?
dead.
There's like 20.
He's dead.
That guy's a freak. He's a freak. That guy's a freak. Don't go near that.
Oh, Pickle was killed in action. All right, well, now we know what we need to do, though.
Yes.
Now we know what needs to happen.
I'm telling you, this mission is impossible. It's the hardest mission in the game.
This sandstorm's nuts.
Darude?
All right, I'm locked in this time. I've disarmed 2 I keep mixing it up. IEDs.
Is that you?
What?
Who are these guys? Well, who are these guys?
Oh, no, what?
Oh, wait, I got us some allies.
I'm going down.
Oh,
That's
no.
perfect timing because shotgun guy down.
I don't think it's reinforcements. It's like a sniper.
Throwing? How is that my fault?
I just died trying to save the AI because I thought it was you. I'm such an idiot. Fuck.
I'm telling you, this is just a very hard mission.
We just suck, maybe.
Yeah, that too. Hello. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did,
All right. All right. And then, so then what else do we have? We have a little bit of a, I think this is the actual intro to the game. Let's just do that.
You know, I was a young man of a certain age, and my country was at war, and I would have a choice to make. Was I going to participate, or was I not going to participate? And I would remember that choice for the rest of my life.
The invasion of Iraq brought Saddam Hussein's brutal regime to a swift end. What followed was a storm of chaos, out of which an insurgency was born.
There were Iraqis, of course, in the insurgency, but there was a lot of foreigners coming from all over the Arab world, even from other non-Arab countries, even from the United States, from France, Europe.
Among those vying for power, one Jordanian man stood out. His name was Abu Musab al-Zarqawi.
Al-Zarqawi is a product of the Jordanian prison system, who had a dream of establishing a new caliphate, and he was bound and determined to do it.
After America disbanded the Iraqi army, Zarqawi built one of his own, drawing thousands of fighters from inside and outside Iraq.
The violence that Zarqawi preached was so appealing that people would come from all over the world to do the most horrendous and brutal things to people.
It was a daily scene when you go out and see bodies dumped in trash. They tied the kids into rocks and they throw them in the river. They cut their heads. It was horrible.
You're either with them or you're against them. If you're not with them, or if you don't financially support them, you're dead by all means.
Zarqawi called his group Al-Qaeda in Iraq. Today we know them as ISIS. In the spring of 2004, Iraqi nationalists and Zarqawi's growing army seized control of Fallujah, just miles from the capital.
These terrorists were armed to the teeth. No one could fight against them.
Fallujah kind of like was pushing a lot of danger into the country, pumping, like constantly pumping.
That was their safe zone. They go out and do stuff all over the country. If they could make it back to Fallujah, they were safe.
It had to be stopped, or the country will turn over to Al-Qaeda.
By October of 2004, Iraq's prime minister ordered civilians out of Fallujah so Iraqi and coalition forces could retake the city.
Again, keep in mind, this is all while Iraq is under American occupation.
We are determined to clean Fallujah from terrorists.
90% of the population left the city, while thousands of insurgents turned it into a fortress.
Insurgents who just wanted their homes back.
Early on November 9th, American and Iraqi troops entered Fallujah side by side. The next 6 days would be among the bloodiest in half a century.
So let's be clear, I'm not downplaying, obviously, Al-Qaeda's involvement, actual terrorism, but the US being there spawns a response. And that's what happens everywhere. Anytime country goes in, they're not wanted. The locals who don't agree with what's happening are like, hey, what the fuck? They might get armed. They might present a resistance. That resistance is portrayed as the bad guys and the enemies in media and everything else, and whitewashed away, or whatever you want to call it, away, such that you're left believing or expected to believe that they are automatically the bad guys because they're on the other side, and anybody on the other side is always the bad guys, and therefore whatever happens to them, it's not your concern. They're the bad guys. That narrative is horrific. It's easily abusable, and it's been abused way too often, right? Okay, we got more. Oh wait, sorry. This is Cam. This is part 2. One sec. This is the one we want. This is the one we want. No, wait. Oh crap! I did it again. Nope. What happened? Okay. I don't know how I kept screwing that up. Here we go.
You never know what to expect.
And as soon as I walk in, I see a machine gun right in front of my face, maybe 10 feet, 15 feet from me, right in front of my face.
Going first and playing Russian roulette every day.
Sorry, I should give you context here. This is literally the introduction to the game is the mission. You're playing these games, and then you get this real life stuff like thrown at you. And again, it's very one-sided. It's just like this is it's just the Marines, telling you what they experienced.
Like, you never know what to expect.
And as soon as I walk in, I see a machine gun right in front of my face, maybe 10 feet, 15 feet from me, right in front of my face.
Going first and playing Russian roulette every day is not good for your mind, you know?
The way I did it with my Marines is like, the person who goes in first is never.
Fabuli says, just last week, U.S. jury awarded $42 million to 3 Iraqis abused at Abu Ghraib prison. Still no accountability for U.S. military abuses during global war on terror. No, it's true. And if we're being honest, it's incredible that those folks got awarded any damages at all, because the U.S. for the longest time tried to, downplay all of that and claim that those things never happened and would never happen. But if they did happen, they were necessary. And but they didn't happen. But if they did, we had to. Sorry, So it's still happening. It's still happening out there too. And it doesn't matter that they paid out to these folks. They're still doing those. They're still using those tactics on other people too, right?
Wrong. They have the most to fear.
The only way you can clear a city is you have to search every house, you have to search every room, and you have to root out every insurgent.
We're doing our methodical house clearing work, and that call comes over the radio. You hear them, we're attacking, we're a block away. And you just think, oh, please let that be outgoing.
Boom. This is all in the game. These videos are in the game.
This is the enemy we're facing.
So again, context. You're playing this.
Break it down! Let's go! First squad's making entry on the objective. What the? Go! Get out! Get the fuck out!
Cut to.
This is the enemy we're facing here. They're vicious, they have a lot of tenacity, and they're a lot smarter than we think. And so for me, it was kind of a reality check. This is what this battle is going to be like.
Men like Zarqawi and Bin Laden, they don't care if they have to destroy everything to get what they want.
They don't care if they have to destroy everything to get what they want. And then if we take a look at Fallujah after all of this, after the coalition forces go through it to get rid of Al-Zakari, their big bad guy, there's nothing left. Gee, who did that? Ah, that's weird. It wasn't Al-Zarqawi. It was the coalition forces that were not afraid to leave nothing left behind, you know, to achieve their goals, to accomplish their goals. Weird.
If he wasn't stopped, why wouldn't a guy like Al-Zakari continue? Ask yourself that.
You know, in the first 2 days, we were not even into like the main battle of it. First 2 days was just like an appetizer for what was going to happen.
It just kicked us in the balls and realized that, you know, we're not superhuman here. We're actually getting killed.
Everything kind of hits home after you've seen somebody die. And when you're sitting there and it's quiet and you're sitting there by yourself, you know, and you're waiting for the attack to happen, that's when your mind starts wandering.
There's this sense now that our technology, our drone warfare, guided missiles, that they in some way inoculate us to the ageless nature of war and the brutality of it. And they don't.
Take every step like your life depends on it. Because for us, it did.
The battle to stop the world's deadliest terror group had begun. It was about to get much worse. Like, what do you even do with that? They could just say that in this propaganda, in this gameplay video to like, it really sets the stage for this video game. These words don't have any meaning.
Lightning 2, Spartan 3.
And then it drops you into another mission.
Your birds for support.
Right. So then we go through the mission. You're fighting. Horrible things happen. You commit war crimes. And is there actually another clip? No, it's just the end.
Lightning 2 is good to go. Bravo, zero to the ground.
Right. And an achievement. An achievement for war crimes. War crimes achieved. That's achievement. War crimes achieved. That's great. Thank you. Thank you for war crimes achieved. That's amazing. Awesome. Great stuff. All right. So that leads us to let's see. Wait, is this the same? Hold on. I'm browsing. Is this the same one that I commented on? Probably. Because I'll never find my comment because I was snarky. Oh yeah, this has got to be it. Is there a way to see my... No. All right. They don't answer this one, do they? Oh, they do. Oh, cool. Okay. Let me share here. Put the music back on as well. Okay, let's see if I can make this bigger. Can I get rid of this shit? Can I like... Alright. What's that? Oh well, enough to do. It's not the greatest. I would like to get rid of... Oops. Oh! Hey! Alright, just took one more One more zoom in. We got past that. Okay, cool. Okay, so this is a Reddit post. This is an AMA. I don't know if you know what an AMA is, but an Ask Me Anything on Reddit is pretty popular, pretty common. They've been doing them for years. The idea is you post a post where you say, ask me anything, introduce yourself. And then in the comments, folks ask you questions. And ideally, you answer them. Originally, AMAs are meant to be something where the anything part is, so in the very early days of Reddit, the anything part was pretty heavily focused on. It was like, literally, this is where you can ask all that weird stuff that in like more public forums you wouldn't be able to ask. As Reddit became more money focused, more ad focused, more profit focused, the ask me anything part kind of dropped by the wayside, and it became ask me anything and I will answer the things that I can safely answer, which is pretty common in today's ecosystem anyway, but that definitely happens in the AMA space on Reddit. So this is definitely one of those examples where it's ask me anything, but they dodge all the hard questions, right? It's like ask me anything, but it's like softballs. It's just how it works. So we're going to go through it. Take a look. I'm Peter Tamte, CEO of Victura on Sick Days in Fallujah. Ask me anything. Hey, r/games. I'm Peter Tamte, CEO of the company making and publishing 6 Days in Fallujah. We just released our Command and Control update this past Thursday on the 20th anniversary of the Second Battle of Fallujah. Again, publicity built on the back of an actual battle, an actual conflict where people died, where the US went in, lied about why they had to go in there, took over the city, leveled the city. We just released our Command and Control update this past Thursday on the 20th anniversary of the Second Battle of Fallujah. 6 Days was conceived by a Marine who was badly wounded in the battle. It was canceled back in 2008 due to controversy and then revived a few years ago. By letting you participate interactively in the true stories with a procedurally generated... Anyway, by letting you participate interactively in the true stories of the dozens of Americans and Iraqis who've helped us make this game, we hope to present a far more realistic look at war, as well as the events in 2004 that helped shape so much of how our world works right now. All right. So it sounds good, right? It sounds like we're going to get a view into the controversy and the actual, what happened, because they say that we can participate interactively in these true stories from the dozens of Americans and Iraqis, right, who helped us make this game, right? It's a realistic look at war, right? What do we got? How do you expect to balance the lived experience of the Marines in Fallujah with the lived experiences of Fallujah civilians who often suffer directly at the hands of the American occupation within the context of a predominantly violent first-person shooter? Yeah, how do you expect to balance that? That's a great question, Deturbinator. I agree. How do you expect to balance the lived experience of the Marines in Fallujah with the lived experience of Fallujah civilians who probably really didn't want to be shot at? I mean, I wouldn't want to be if I, Mobile B says they could try to be unique and provide a non-American's perspective, or a mission where you kill civilians with white phosphorus like the real Marines did. Ooh, hoo, hoo, ooh. Damn. Oh man, or at least show those players' characters killing civilians in a cutscene, right? Because that happened. Civilians definitely died. The game, 6 Days, the game company, I guess Peter Tamte's account, because it's posted from the 6 Days game account. So Peter Tamte replying, there will be missions in 6 Days where you play as an Iraqi father trying to get his family out of the city. There will also be many documentary segments in which Iraqi civilians speak directly to players about their experiences in the city during the battle. We've spoken with about 28 Iraqis, 23 of whom are from Fallujah. But I think our bigger opportunity is to help players understand the critical role Iraqis have been playing in fighting Al-Qaeda and ISIS. This was the first major battle in which Americans and Iraqis embedded within each other's units and fought side by side the Rid Fallujah of Al-Qaeda terrorists. So isn't our bigger opportunity to help players understand the sacrifice Iraqis have made in the war on terror? Some of the most extraordinary stories we've heard are about Iraqi soldiers, and in 6 days you'll also play as an Iraqi soldier who is risking not his life, but also his family's life. Oh, I'm mistaken. I was under the assumption that the story that you played was of an Iraqi non-combatant, but no, the side story, you're actually still an Iraqi coalition member. You're just a member of the Iraqi coalition forces then, the Iraqi-American coalition force. Like, there's no... You're not even the other side is not represented whatsoever. There's no other story told. There's only one story told. It's so frustrating. Does the game actually spend any time addressing the fact that there were war crimes committed by the US military against the citizens of Fallujah, or is that totally glossed over? Oh, the Terminator's back. Oh, and look, it's me. Let's see what they actually answer here. What inspired you and your team to make the game sort of documentary style? It seems to be a pretty unique thing to put in a game. With all the interviews and video footage you and your team collected, will there be a documentary using that? The original inspiration was Band of Brothers. All right. We wanted players to see the humanity of the people involved through intimate personal interviews. And as time went by, it became clear that very few people knew about the battle, why it happened, what happened, or its impact today. You don't tell that story. You just tell one side of that story. So then we decided we should adopt a more documentary style for the introductory missions. It's fine to be a documentary style, but to like be so American exceptionalism focused and only represented as like America good, any opposing side bad, and then to make it seem as if that's, that was the whole focus. It's like, well, we were right in doing this. We didn't, there's only one side to tell. The bad guys are bad guys. Future missions will move towards personal stories, documentaries using to community facts players need to know. As for a full documentary, we would love to do this. We have hundreds of hours of video from dozens of Americans and Iraqis who were there, and there's no way we can tell all the stories in the game. The one-sided stories. Okay, what's the roadmap? What is the roadmap going forward after this update? We're planning to release a number of additional missions during 2025, which will take players more deeply inside the personal stories of specific Marines and Iraqis. Additionally, we will also need to add in more secondary mechanics to give the co-op game more depth. Our hope is to get the full release of the game released on console and PC by the end of 2025. Yeah, I don't think it's on console at all yet. It's on Steam right now, at least for sure. In the campaign for COD 2019, they blamed the Russians for the Highway of Death, when in actual fact, it was openly done by the US, and many argue it was a war crime. Do you plan to wash over atrocities committed by the US as well, like they did? Or will this be a more accurate portrayal of warfare? And yeah, no answer here. Although, what is this? What are they answering? What is this from? What is the parent post of this one? Is that this one? The new update seems to be affecting a lot of players' frame rate. We'll optimize the address going forward, not just bits of optimization, blah, 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 bug fixes, blah, blah, blah. So they're fixing bugs. Fixing bugs. Customized loadouts. They'll have an operator mode. That's great. That's just great. Yep. All right. Campaign. Each team has its own personality. You'll see starting to create more personal stories about specific Marines. Much more. Oh, that'll be interesting. If they actually add more. Oh God. I don't want to think about these actual Marine stories because again, we're only getting the Marine stories about how many freaking people he had to kill and how hard it was to kill them all. Like, bro, I don't care. That's horrible. You plan an easier enemy difficulty setting in cooperative. New players would truly enjoy it if they could adjust the difficulty to suit them and grow the challenge instead of being thrown in the deep end. I bought the game today, played the story missions fairly good, then I got absolutely obliterated with the first minutes of multiplayer. Now I keep trying and okay, so maybe I should play multiplayer. Now I keep trying and dying in cooperative with bots just to pick up the pace and not let down a team in real lobby. A team of real people in a lobby. Yeah, you've kicked the hornet's nest with that one. Lots of discussion within the team about that. Our challenge is that Marines told us over and over, if you can complete a mission solo in a video game, it is fake. You must be with a team, and this team must be coordinated. And since we're all about reproducing this experience as close as described as possible, well, it's realistic. So our answer to this problem definitely comes from the Fireteam AI that we just added Thursday. We've definitely designed the game intentionally so that you must get good at commanding this team. What we found from playtesting this game with dozens of players is that most of our players do get good at this within a couple of hours practice, but it still skews towards the difficult side. That being said, we are constantly watching and evaluating difficulty. Some of the things that are causing extra difficulty are unintended, so you see us continuously polishing some rough edges on that as we watch more and more people play the game. It's good to know that the AI is challenging in other modes. You actually have to know how to use your fire team and have them watch buildings and shoot the bad guys for you. The procedurally generated bad guys for you, right? Will we be able to play as Iraqi security forces? Also, what's going to be the ETA on civies being added? So I don't know if it's addressed here, but they definitely said that you can't play as insurgents. There's zero plan for you to play as the insurgent side. There's no story they're going to tell for the insurgent side whatsoever. They're not even going to try. But in response to will we be able to play as Iraqi security forces? Yes, this is a passion of ours. Most people don't know that this was a major first major battle in which Americans and Iraqis fought alongside each other against Al-Qaeda. All right. Some of the most remarkable stories we've heard are actually about Iraqi soldiers. These are remarkable people, and we're anxious for players to experience the battle through their eyes as well. Civilians are the next big AI tech we're tackling, although we included a little bit of civilian activity in the first campaign mission. Civilians will become a much bigger part of both the campaign and co-op missions. But we've been holding back because we do want to do this right. They can't just be bots, and they can't all turn into terrorists like in other games. I hope we can get more civilian presence by midway through next year. It's like, oh yeah, we can't just make it so the AI like makes all of them pick up guns, because then that wouldn't be like, bro, none of this is actually real. You've already lost that sauce. Like, why are we trying anymore? Why do you even care? You don't actually care. All of this is because you believe that you care, but you don't actually care. It just, it hurts. It hurts so much. It hurts me so much. All right. We're going to wind down here because I don't need to subject you to any more of this. And because I'm going to build you up, you can learn more about this stuff in season 2 of Neutral Good. I'm going to be covering all of this. This is, all of this and how this pertains to actual war, what's actually happening out there. And how this isn't just video games, it's real life. It's real life, right? These are real people that are dying. So thank you all. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. This was amazing. I appreciate all of you. This was a really, really cool experience to get back into this, try this again, and see how things went. And it was fun to have some folks show up and actually be able to do the things that I planned here. I think I covered everything on my list. Let me just make sure. Let me just cross out these things here. Oh my god, I nailed everything on my list. I'm so proud of myself. I did all this work. I made a little list. I got through my list. I'm so proud. Okay, so the last remaining thing is since I am channeling both Tim Pool and Nick Fuentes, both, I don't know if you appreciate, let me just go back to the screen here. I really like this background. Like, this is okay. The shitty thing about this is that this is an AI generated background. So you can pan it all you want. It's made by a machine. You can shit on it all you want, and you can also shit on me for using AI. I want to replace this as soon as I can, but I like the fact that it is kind of like a like a late night sort of, and that fucking, Nazi Nick Fuentes tries to replicate that on his show and his whole like, persona. So I'm trying to be reverso Nick Fuentes. And then with the beanie, I am leftist Tim Pool. So I'm all of these things, but we don't have a name. We don't have an actual brand for this, whatever this is going to be, besides just, me hosting a thing. So we got to come up with that so that I can also throw some, because I think what's his nuts calls it like cozy or something, right? So we need something, I don't know, moist or like smelly, I don't know, we need some brand that we can use, that we can call this whatever this hybrid monstrosity that we're going to call it for the future. So for the next time, your homework for the next one is to come up with that, and I'll see you when I see you. I don't know when that's going to be, but I appreciate you tuning in, and yeah, thanks a lot, guys. This means a lot, and I will see you in the next one. All right.